Peace, 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 love and light to all the American Aborigines. It's your brother Aboriginal Power. Hope everybody's having a blissful and a beautiful day, man. It's gonna be a nice build. Continue this thing on out right. Let's get it.
Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Where the fuck am I going? Who the hell could I be? All this time I've been lost. Vessel trapped in the sea. Chains holding my legs. I just want to be free. Fist picking my throat. Hell yeah, and they know it. Heritage keep going. You can see it in my phenotypes and that damn Indian showing. This knowledge keeping me steady. 45 on my hip and my armor man stay ready. I hit the streets in my Chevy. Blunt, burn, smell smoke in heaven. Man, here you go, I got plenty. Prayers up for what's in it. In the land I lost many. Cause every nigga ain't feeling. And every man ain't milling. No Debo's but Stanley. No heroes for my family. Why the pigs killing us daily. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Where the fuck do you come from? Kidnapping our babies. 11 million abortions. Whole country is scorching. Baby stealing my portion. Bitch, give me my land back. We ain't signed no contracts. Why you wasting all of our trust funds? We don't know who your dad is, but we know who your kid is. Take the food off of my plate. Eat that shit with my folk. You invader.
You motherfucking invader.
Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Hey ya, 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 hey ya. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Hey ya, 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 hey ya. Hey ya, 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 hey ya.
Infamous Troy Ali.
I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know what who we are, so they hate us cause they ain't us. I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know what who we are, so they hate us cause they ain't us. he ain't us. I said, gotta never die, never left us. Even though they took you home, he's still behind you like a catcher. Life is like a doctor, everybody want their checkup. Money, money, he been preaching, charge for a confession. See, ain't nobody focused on the bullshit that they told us. I was trying to pin you sick when ain't nobody came before us. We the best part of waking up before the photos. That's why they want your backs against the wall like a poster. Indoctrination being sold as education. Most of history they taught you came from some imagination. Roots was never true, fuck the whole compilation. Fuck Walter Plecker, fuck Alex Haley. America is Egypt, Israel, Queen Khalifa. Babylon used to devil by here while I check my fever. Niggas think I'm lying cause they sleep. But bitch, I ain't no fool shopping my tools every season. I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know what who we are, swear they hate us cause they ain't us. I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know what who we are, swear they hate us cause they ain't us. Guess I gotta start bad rapper, tell these niggas how it happened. Control is the goal, now you space like William Shatner. Technology's economy has overthrown your balance. Now your headaches come from waves, microcells up in your atlas. Fears how they take you, they expect you for being active and questioning all the requisites made to prevent disasters. Clearing out the Turkish dream of talking to the past. I got the old line tied in this survival for the masses. They never loved our classics, but bite off our originals. Reclassify your favorite rhymes the way they did the Seminoles. I'm so black, pride that my inside's purple. If the word had never died, they probably never alert you. You need to venture out and stop sticking the circle. Strict numbers react different to curfews. The movement, not perfume. The streets ain't gold. Our summer so cold, we left the fall on froze. I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know what who we are, swear they hate us cause they ain't us. I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know what who we are, swear they hate us cause they ain't us. I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know what who we are, swear they hate us cause they ain't us. I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know what who we are, swear they hate us cause they ain't us.
Hey, give me a few seconds. We'll be right into the bill. Let's get these likes up. Drop some fire emojis if y'all can hear me out there loud and clear. Please drop some fire emojis if y'all can hear me. Hit the like button. We looking a little shy on the likes. If we can get it up to 50 likes right now, it'll be beautiful. I appreciate everybody for tapping in.
Yeah. I ain't here to judge, I just want you to walk with me. So miss me with all envy, cause shit could get dark quickly. I'm swimming with the sharks, they wishing that jaws get me. What I speak it shall exist, that's the spirit of God. Listen, I'm trying to tell them that it's deeper than rap. I'm trying to bring them back, the ones that fell deep in the trap. See, they feed you the bullshit, but then be keeping the facts. Spreading white lies by trying to tell our people they black. I know my lineage, I spit the truth in any booth you sit me in. Connected to the higher power, I know why it sent me here. To open eyes and show that hope it lies within your mind. For this globe is ours, so let's take over now. You know it's time, cause they control the blind law, so they can't see what's going down. Yeah, you might can take the gold, but you can't break the golden child. All my kings worldwide, I know that they gon' hold it down. Come by us and they firing straight out the host of black. And I've been having premonitions. See, it's time for us to stand up and unite. You feel me? Because a lot of people say that you gotta see it to believe it. You feel me? But from my perspective, I look at it as sometimes we gotta believe it to see it. Start with you feel me? Phyllis. I've been having premonitions of my niggas winning. Building up the projects, free from penitentiary, see it. And we all unified, so ain't no senseless killings. I'm glad we finally realized that we ain't really different. We finally get that we in fact all kings, so we subtract all beef. We growing crops in every block, look like Black Wall Street. And we investing in these stocks so we can stack our cream. And we ready for war if you try and snatch our dreams. A revolution, we abide by our principles, making changes. Street niggas turn scholars. Knowledge is really gangster. We protectors and providers. We gotta uplift the nation for our queens. We ride if you try to put them in danger. Yeah, beneath the chaos, know your soul is pure. All that greatness you got within was never shown before. Wherever you take your crown, that's your home for sure. So why beef over the block when the world is yours indigenous?
At one point, I was ignorant and lost, but like you gotta know yourself. So do anything, or you can make a record, or you can have a shit. You gotta know yourself. So you don't got no means to go get it. These niggas got millions of dollars, institutions set up, like the LAPD, like the Fed, like the FBI. All this is their army, and their army make it to where you can inflict your will. Meaning if a motherfucker don't want to do it from an agreement, you can come take it. If a nigga don't want to agree into it verbally, well, you got an army to come enforce your will. So that's what we lack. You know what I mean? We don't have no army that's gonna come protect our natural resources. Because our shit is the body. You know what I'm saying? We don't even understand how we.
Hey, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna give y'all 30, 45 seconds to hit that like button and to share this on all your social media outlets. I appreciate it. Can we get a mic check? Can we get a mic checky? Let's get a mic check. Mic check, mic check. All right, we seem good. Yeah, man. I had a couple Pan Africans hit me up this morning that want to come through. So I thought I'd do this bill for them, man. So make sure y'all share the link to all your favorite Pan Africans. It's an opportunity for them. I'm on my laptop today, this morning. Even though it's running crappy. But we're ready to get it in, though. We're ready to get it in with the info to move up on the tempo. How my little Cedrons doing out there? How my little Cedrons doing out there? What up, cousins? What's going on, cousins? My cousins can hear me. Drop some fire emojis. What's going on, cousins? How y'all enjoyed the bill from last night? I just want to tap in with y'all. How y'all feel? I'm gonna be busy today. I ain't gonna be able to go live all day today. Man, that real African don't even know African history, bro. He don't even know about Mali. And then we had some other nigga came on last night from the Igbo tribe. He was from the Igbo. I didn't know he came on. My mic was fucking up during that time, so he came. I didn't know it was two Africans on there last night. Yeah, they was on here like, brother. They was agreeing and shit. They was getting it in. I was like, okay, brother. Trip Jug didn't know though. Trip Jug didn't know that there was another Igbo on the motherfucking pedal. That nigga, he didn't give a fuck. He went in Super Saiyan mode. Shout out to my big brother Trip, man. Who the hell is Young? Who name in the chat is Young? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I be seeing motherfuckers say that, but I never see nobody name that in the chat. He said, "Oh my brother." He said, "We are from Mali. The, the slave trade, the slave trade." I, that's my favorite. That's my new favorite voice to talk in now, man. No bullshit. I'm just start walking around talking like it. Yeah, man, but it wasn't a debate, man. I just really want to hear his understanding. But after we heard his understanding, it was clear that we heard what his stance was, and he wanted to open the panel, or else it would have just been a regular dialogue like we was keeping. But he wanted to open the panel. He wanted to turn it up a little bit too, though. So shout out to him. Oh, brother, today was a good day. Today, today I found a banana or chiquita. It was good. I saved half a liter for the village, but me, I eat the half of the banana and then give the other half to the village. Eh, I give the other half to the village to save my people. Oh no, brother. Nah, I like that voice, man. I'm telling you, it's a cool ass. That's just laid back. You just get away with some shit. Like, no, brother. No, brother. I think Americans are pieces of shit, brother. No, 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 brother. Listen to me. They are piece of shit. I tell you no lie. You be like, damn, that nigga just disrespected all of the Americans with the no brother shit though. They cool with it. You ain't walk into nothing now, TV, man. This ain't that. We just chilling, man. We just going over the discussion last night with my brother. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just stepping in his shoes the way he was looking at it from us. You see what I'm saying? He said, no, brother. He was no, brother. He got no crime, brother. I showed you 3 times that I am a not a Afro key. I am from Mali. We don't give a fuck about no other people. You give it? She. I told you she. Oh, brother, you see I said last night, hey, last night he turned his camera on. I said, shit, I seen your face. He said, oh, you see my face, brother. I cute, ain't I? No, boy, you ugly as hell. Boy, you like an old cartoon. They used to make fun of niggers. You know them old cartoons that used to make fun of niggers with the over dramatic face and the proportioned lips and shit? Shout out to that good brother from Mali, man. He cool beans, man. Shout out to him, man. I definitely looking forward to building with him again soon. I like that brother. He good. But today, the reason I got on here wasn't because of the brother from Mali or Mandinka from last night. This is from OTH, OTF, or whatever the fuck this nigga, OHF, whatever the fuck the nigga name is. Uh, he wanted to come on. Hey, let me tell y'all what he told me in the voice message. Y'all want to hear the voice message? I know y'all want to hear it. Fuck this. I gotta let y'all hear this. Hell no. Listen to what he told me in the voice message. Hold on. Let's go to the Pan African. He messaged me this morning. Listen to what he said.
So my phone works perfectly fine everywhere else. If you want to sit there and ball up some paper on your end because you don't want to handle the seed, it's fine. You already know what it is, bro. Like, that's not pretend. This is a direct message. Don't pretend like you want to actually go live with me. You don't want to go live with me. You know why you don't want to go live with me. I want to discuss those land pads. I want to discuss all these documents y'all see I have. Fuck that Atlantis shit. I want to discuss these documents. Y'all keep referencing. I did my genealogy. I study case law. I know this. I know this about the law. I know that about the law. And the moment somebody asks y'all a question, y'all get silent as shit. I just want y'all to be held accountable for what y'all say. My mic is working perfectly fine now. You gonna hear it?
Y'all hear that shit? He said I balled up some paper to fuck up his signal. Now listen to this.
All right, so you know what it is, bro. You know exactly what it is. You know you don't want to do this live. That's all it is. You know you don't want to do it live and direct in person. You have to do it. I think an hour is good. Let's give people enough time to decipher the bullshit. That's what this is about. This is about calling out bullshit. You don't want. The thing is, you don't want that shit to happen, bro. But it need to happen because you've been putting all this fake shit out here forever. Like, and
Hold on, I got one more.
I've been putting all this fake shit out here forever. Disgracing our fucking community, disgracing our fucking ancestors, lying in your motherfucking pocket. You might believe this shit. Your brother Truth, he's a fucking coward. He's a fucking coward. He all about the fucking money. I want you to go live. Go live. Talk to me. 1 hour. I'm gonna let you do most of the talking, bro. I want to hear. You can do it right here. You can do it on my platform. 1 hour. And then you can destroy me, right? That's what y'all. You gonna say that you did it anyway, right? No matter how bad I destroy you, you gonna say you destroyed me, right? Which is fine. I think people need to hear what we gotta say. Let me know when you're ready. Just give me a time and date.
So I texted him this morning after this message and said, hey, I'm ready to go live now. He said, oh, you ready to go live now? I said, I'm ready to go live now. He said, I'm ready too. I dropped the link. I went live right now. I hit him the link, sent him the link. I sent him some more messages. He sent me another message after I sent the link. Oh, but right when I told him I'm going live, he sent this.
All right, I'm gonna carry my laptop with me. All right. So let me know when you're ready, bro. All right. Carry my laptop with me. I don't even know if I know how to do this shit through my laptop, but we're gonna figure it out. And once again, phone work perfectly fine, bro. I reference sources. You can cite the sources. Everybody in the whole audience can cite the sources. Right? I can cite the sources. It's not a hard thing to do. I'm going to cite policy. I'm going to cite law. Right? I want to go into these land patents. I want to go into these tribal documents. I want to go into all that specific information that y'all keep claiming y'all have. I'm going to talk about this genealogy, this lineage. Everybody keep talking about. This is what I want to hear about. Dates, times, and specifics. Transatlantic slave trade that never happened in the history. That's what I want to hear. Right? So yeah, I'm gonna carry my laptop with me though. All right, and we're gonna have a good little discussion. Don't bet.
He said, don't back out. I've been here and I sent him the link. So now we just waiting on this fella to come through. So now y'all see why I'm here. It wasn't because of Mendinka. I like Mendinka. I just want to prove to y'all why I'm here. We keep the files, man. We keep the files. It's nothing. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. We lit. Let's keep this information rocking. I'm just waiting on him. Y'all more than welcome to come on. I might play a little information while we wait. I mean, what y'all want to do? Y'all want me to keep talking doing this while we wait, or y'all want to listen to a little audio? Y'all let me know. I'm here for you guys. Yeah, he passed obsessed. I be having to check my closet sometime. Cause I don't want no nigga that talking about, I've been waiting on you to come on your channel, bruh. And so I popped up in your closet. And I thought this would be the best opportunity for us to talk about these patents. And he's like, nigga, you gonna get your ass fucked up. I'm about to play something for y'all. I'm gonna play something for y'all. I got some shit for y'all. Y'all wanna listen to some shit? I got you. Let's listen to DeSoto Dark History.
Surely not the sorry savages that the historians of the 18th and 19th centuries assumed the native population to be. A lost race, perhaps, which had come and gone before the first white man set foot on the New World, consigned forever into the oblivion of prehistory. Over the past decade, archaeologists have traced the route of the conquistador Hernando de Soto, searching for clues as to how the Indians may have perished. This painting in the Capitol building shows that romantic visions of the conquistador continue to celebrate the explorer's arrival on the American continent. But research tells a darker story. Driven by the mysterious disappearance of the mound builders, archaeologists are retracing the footsteps of the great conquistador Hernando de Soto. At digs throughout the southeastern United States, they cast new light on De Soto's route, revealing a trail marred by signs of human carnage. By the time De Soto set foot in Florida, he was a wealthy, seasoned veteran of Spanish ventures in the New World. De Soto himself had come to the New World when he was about 14. Was a big success in terms of the day as a conquistador. He participated in the pillaging of Native American societies in Central America. He was involved with the Pizarro brothers in the sacking of the Inca Empire. He became quite wealthy. But wealth alone could not satisfy De Soto's burning ambition. To leave his mark on history, he would gamble his fortune on one more throw of the dice, his own expedition in search of El Dorado.
When they came to the New World, none of the conquistadors came with the intention of staying. They wanted to come over here. They wanted to find El Dorado. They wanted to find the gold of the Incas. And if they didn't find that, they would go back without any kind of entitlement, any kind of status. And so they knew that, again, their backs were against the wall to make a name for themselves in the New World. And people had done it before, and there was no reason to think that they couldn't do it too.
Having plundered the great wealth of the Inca Empire, the Spanish turned their...
Y'all hear that shit? That's some deep shit. Drop some fire emojis if y'all can hear this clear. Shout out to my big brother Av TV for sharing this on his YouTube community post. And shout out to Matthew for the Cash App donation. I appreciate that, Matthew, whoever Matthew is. Appreciate you. Hey, y'all, don't leave Matthew out here by himself to be the only one to support the channel today. So make sure y'all hit that like button and share this on all your social media outlets. Appreciate that. Let's get it.
To make a name for themselves in the New World. And people had done it before, and there was no reason to think that they couldn't do it too.
Having plundered the great wealth of the Inca Empire, the Spanish turned their eyes northward. From there came rumors of gold, silver, and gems beyond the imaginings even of the greatest Inca monarch. In fact, a few precious trinkets had been taken from the natives of the north, but in one of the great ironies of history, the conquistadors would never learn of the true source of that wealth, their own shipwrecked galleons.
Late 1530s, wealth was going back on Spanish fleets. Many of those fleets set sail from the coast of Mexico, came around the Gulf, went down the Gulf Coast of Florida and through the Strait of Florida and up. Some of them wrecked, summer storms, hurricanes, and the Florida native people salvaged material off there, gold, silver. And in Florida archaeological sites and native sites, we do find gold and silver that came right out of Central and South America.
Spectacularly oblivious to history's strange twist of fate, De Soto's proud conquistadors arrived in the New World in the spring of 1539, probably at Tampa Bay, Almost 700 strong, they set off with haste in search of their fortunes. When they stopped to ask directions, as it were,
Damn, don't feel no type of way, Tiff, sister. You know I came on a rock with my cousins, but I really came here for the Africans. But I fought with my cousins. I invited my cousins to this meeting with this African.
they were in no mood.
You feel me, cuz? Shout out to Kiwanis, the Aborigine man, for the cash out donation. I appreciate that, brother Kiwanis. Kiwana. Let me see if I said it right. I said it right. The Aborigine. Tiffany. No, sister. Brother. Brother, I came here for you, cuz.
To be trifled with.
Every time DeSoto came to a new place, he would interrogate his captives, and the two main questions is where is the greatest prince in the
He's scared to come on. He's scared to come on. I done invited him. I sent them the link. He ain't came on yet, brother Soldier Warrior.
land? Where can I find the greatest, biggest, wealthiest society? And he also specifically asked Indians about precious substances such as gold and silver. The Spanish would show the Indians the jewelry on their fingers and on their bodies and would ask the Indians, where can I find this? Where can I find that? The Indians may have been tempted to mislead him, and in some cases we know that they did. But for the most part, I suspect they told him what he wished to know because his means of extracting it were so great, and the possibility of torture was so obviously present.
In keeping with his charter from the king, De Soto read a lengthy statement to each group of natives he encountered. They and all their lands now belonged to the Spanish crown, he informed them. They were to pledge their allegiance to Spain and accept the Catholic faith. Should they refuse, it came with this warning. With the aid of God, we will enter your land against you with force and...
I ever heard this story? Man, let's get to another bill. I'm gonna move it to the Thomas Peters and Sierra Leone.
Peace.
Before we get there, let me shout out to the brother Ernest McConnell. Shout out to Ernest McConnell. Shout out to that brother. Let's get it.
You know, this is how you do research. I'm gonna show you something, right? Now, when you do this research, it's best to cross-reference different articles. Never read one article and assume that's what you're looking for. You have to read numerous different articles as well as conflicting stuff to gather up enough information to form a point of view. Okay? I don't speak the Queen, King, English the best. I'm going to get through it. And you will possibly learn something at the end of this. All these videos are educational purposes. That's why I don't go hard with the debate. And they're all opinions of the Tasha. With that being said, let's get with it. So we got Thomas Peters.
Shout out to my brother 360 Copper in the building. 360 Copper. I appreciate that cash out, by the way, brother. I appreciate that.
All right. It's one article I got on Thomas Peters. I'm going to show you everything first. Another article on Thomas Peters. Another one.
All right, let me get a mic check in here, man. Let me get a mic check to make sure we good. Want to get a mic check. I want to get a mic check to make sure that we are good. Mic check, mic check. I want to make sure everything good. Let me get something going for you guys for a second. Because I fuck with you. I fuck with you, Charlie. So, okay, give me just a second. Let me see how I'm going to do this. Okay. My bad, y'all. I was trying to get y'all a little screen share in, but the shit was fucking up on me. I don't know what the fuck that shit was about. Let me see if we can pop that shit off again, though.
To gather up enough information to form a point of view. Okay? Don't speak the queen, king, English the best. I'm going to get them. And you will possibly learn something at the end of this. All these videos are educational purposes. That's why I don't go hard with the debate. And they're all opinions, the touches. With that being said, let's get with it. So we got Thomas Peters. All right. It's one article I got on Thomas Peters. I'm going to show you everything first. Another article on Thomas Peters. Another one. And another. All right. So let's start with Wiki. All right. Thomas Peters, revolutionary. They say Thomas Peters, born Thomas Porter. Now check this out. They saying that he was born in Africa, right? But look at his name. Now look, Thomas Peters, born Thomas Porter, which is an English name. On June 25th, 1738, in 1792 was one of the black. Now check this out too. Let me put it on something, right? When a lot of black people come from Africa, they still got African names. So why, if he was born Thomas Porter, then where's his original? If he was from Nigeria, he was from the Igbo tribe. Then what was his original name? You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't see that somebody from, if he was born Thomas Porter. All right, I'm just going to show you something when I'm cross references. All right, so it's 1738 to 1792. One of the black loyalties, founding fathers, one of the nations of Sierra Leone and West Africa. Peters, along with David George, Moses Wilkins, Cato Perkins, and Joseph Lynch, which are all European names, were influenced by black Canadians who recruited African settlers in the province of Nova Scotia, the colonialization of Sierra Leone. Peter himself, a former African American slave, assumingly, which I know he's an Aborigine, but I'm gonna get into that. It said who fled the province of North Carolina with the British during the American Revolutionary War. So he said he fled from North Carolina during the Evolutionary War. Say he served as a black loyalist in the black company of pioneers, and later became prominent black colonial leader in the Freetown. Thomas Peters had been called the first African American hero. Peters, like Eli Johnson and Joseph Jenkins Roberts of Liberia, is considered an African American founding father of the nation. Now check this out. Now I say early life. Thomas Peters was born in Nigeria, West Africa, to the Yoruba tribe, Igbo people clan. It said enslavement. The 1760, a 22-year-old Thomas Peters was captured by slave traders and sold as a slave to colonial America on a French slave ship, the Henry Quatre, or whatever. It said upon arrival in North America, Peter was sold to the French owners of the French Louisiana. Okay, French Louisiana. Let me see something real quick while we on that, just to show y'all something. All right, because I like to do this, man. So I like to do it. All right, so let's get this. All right, so France right here. So France came all the way from here, traveled all the way here, all the way from here, came all the way around here, snatched some people, because he's saying from Nigeria. How far is a Nigerian going to wander outside this land? This landmass is huge itself. This landmass is probably the size of Texas. So how far is a person that lived in this on this land going to travel outside of this continent. You understand what I'm saying? So they travel all the way from France, grabbed these people from Nigeria, and then just came all the way across here. Now look, came all the way across here to Louisiana. You will be a fool to believe this stuff, man. You will be a fool to believe this stuff. To come, so look how far that is. From Nigeria all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, all the way across to come this way. You understand? And I think that the French was coming through Canada. That's how I believe that they was coming. I mean, which I got some doubts about that because they was warring with the English. So I just want to know how they kind of both took same or separate routes. I don't think at this time the English was even coming to this location. They were staying up in this area. They didn't get into Georgia, remember, until the 1700s when it was named after King George. Because I believe after Carolina or after Charleston, then you got Charlotte. After Charlotte, they came over here and named the landmass Georgia. Okay, so that wasn't until the 1700s. So that shows you that the English was only up and down these routes for like the 1500s. It took them centuries to get inside here. You understand? It took them centuries to get inside here. You understand? So to believe that, oh yeah, they was down here, they warring one another. They was not coming in contact with these people, okay? When they took Florida, because when you read and you see the English taking the states from the Spanish and from the French, okay? As you read this and you do your research, you will find that the English was taking these states from the French and the Spanish, okay? That's what the Louisiana Purchase and all that shit was about. Okay, they kicked the French out and gave the French, I believe they gave the French something. But remember, when they took Cuba from the Spanish, they gave the Spanish, I believe, Louisiana. That's why there's Spanish in Louisiana, or they I guess the Spanish quarters or whatever they call it, the French quarters or whatever. But that was one of the treaties. You got to look that up yourself. All right. So let's get back to the main topic. All right. So it says, Peter tried to escape 3 times before being sold to an Englishman. Now, I just told you that the French and the English was not getting along. So how would they come in contact with these people like that? And how far and where? What Englishman, where was he at? Where was he at? Because if they was only in Louisiana, they don't show you the French going. It doesn't show you the French in none of the other states. Not in Carolina, not in Georgia, not in Virginia.
Hey, let me get a mic check. Let me get a mic check. Let me get a mic check. I know we should be good with the mic check right now. Yeah, like I was saying, man, let me get a mic check. Drop some fire emojis as long as y'all can still hear this shit. Wow.
And people don't even fucking understand most of this history because you got to do further research. You can't even do a college level 100 course of history and learn any of this stuff I'm teaching. None of it. You're going to learn the generic terms and you're going to learn that all slaves was African when you learn that 10. So out of every 10 slaves here in the United States, 9 of them was Aborigines. Okay? So what would that tell you? Okay, crickets, or how they say, drop the mic. Southern colonial, probably Campbell, and say an immigrant Scotsman who had settled on Cape Fear River of Wilmington, North Carolina. Okay, so this is just one story. I mean, I'm not going to go all into it, but you can check that out because I'm going to read another one. I'm going to read another article. And the other article going to take us a little further. But just remember, they say we're born Thomas Porter, but Thomas Porter is not a Nigerian name. If he was born that, it would say he was born something else. Thomas Porter is not a Nigerian name. See, this is how people easily get confused with it. Let's go to the next one. All right. Thomas Peters got similar 1738, 1792. Born in Africa and enslaved in America, Thomas Peters best known for his influence in settling Canadian blacks in the African colony of Sierra Leone. Now remember, the only reason why they wanted to leave, the only reason why Thomas, matter of fact, you know what? Let's go back. I missed something, kid. Sorry about that, y'all. I want to go back here. All right, boom. Because I gotta show you. We gotta get up to the point that when he left and went to Nova Scotia for you to get an understanding. I have to show you what led him. How did he leave North Carolina and get to Nova Scotia in the first place? All right, so I'm gonna have to read this whole thing and then start cross-referencing with other. All right, so boom, boom, boom. All right, so here, 1776, Peters fled his own owner flour mill near Wilmington at the start of the American Revolution War and joined the Black Pioneers. You gotta look at this. The Black Pioneers is a whole nother chapter of information. They say the Black Loyalties Unit made up of runaway African American slaves. Now remember, most of the runaways was Aborigines because they knew the fucking land. No African gonna come here and run away because they don't know what's out there. They don't know what's out there. So they just want to come. So you're going to come. Now, if you're not indigenous to this land, you'll see something like a fucking spider. If you're not indigenous to this land, run back to the colonies. Like, man, fuck this shit, man. I'm not like you start hearing animals hollering at night or whatever. You don't know what that is. The only people who going to run away and deal with that shit is indigenous people. You understand what I'm saying? From my research of me hearing on about these colonies wasn't that bad. It's just that the people who was there didn't want to be there. They like, man, fuck this. I'm indigenous. I don't want to be on these plantations. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what some of them was indentured, some of them was enslaved. See, a lot of the indentured servants was the people you seen was in the house. And a lot of the slaves were the people that was in the field. Okay, so when you see a lot of indentured servants, you see a lot of them was remember, most of the women they kept as indentured servants. That's what I'm saying. People, you need to step your research up, man, and stop coming to me with this bullshit. All right, so Black Loyalty Runaway Aborigine American slaves. The British had previously promised freedom in exchange for supporting the war effort against the colonies that formed the United States. Many former slaves joined the British after the United States had been established as a nation. Therefore, many were illegally qualified to remain as American slaves. Peter rose to the ranks of sergeant in the region. Now, and think about this too. Think about this too, right? Think of this too. Let's see. Let's see something. Hold up. Let's hold up for 1 second. All right. So if he was born, check this shit out, right? Check this out. That means he would have had to been able to speak 3 different languages, right? So, I'm not, Nigerians are well versed in language. I'm not going to sit here and say they not, right? But understand this. At the age of 22, right, he would have had French. So because he was captured by the French, he'd have had to learn French. Then he was transferred to English or Scotland or whatever. So then he would have had to learn English. Okay. Now all that in that span, right? Now I'm not saying that couldn't be done. If you trying to survive, you want to adapt to your environment, and I'm not going to sit here and say you're not. So you're going to learn stuff faster out of a fear that you need to learn. You ain't got time to really be bullshit because this is life and death. So I'm not going to sit here and say that. So I'm going to put that out there. So, all right. So Say rose to sergeant in a regiment. They say he was twice wounded in battle. During this time, Thomas was married to Sally Peters, a slave from South Carolina. He had a son called John, born in 1781, and a daughter of Clara, say born in 1771. There is a possibility that Sally and Peter were once slaves together in South Carolina. Now they get say were slaves in North Carolina. Okay, but now they saying South, but this is what I'm saying. And they reunited during the war. Okay, so now, all right, boom. Resettlement in the province of Nova Scotia, British Canadian. They say after the war, Peter and other former African American slaves were taken to the British, were taken by the British to Nova Scotia with the loyalists were there where they stayed from 1783 to 1791. Initially after being excavated from New York. All right, so we got more people who came through New York. Okay, because New York was a port. It's a Thomas loyalist ship has been blown off course and the crew temporarily settled in Bermuda. Eventually, Thomas Peters. Now hold up, right? See, I mean, listen. I'm trying to see something. All right. Remember, Bermuda is in the middle of the damn ocean. So, all right. So I just was trying to gather my thoughts. Where the hell is Bermuda before I can go forward further? All right. So blown off course and saying the crew temporarily settled in Bermuda. So eventually, Thomas Peters and his family settled in Royal, Nova Scotia. My bad. Peters and his fellow black pioneers, Murphy Still, petitioned the government for land. Say both Murphy Still and Thomas Peters had developed a friendship during their service to the black pioneers. Petitioned to set in Sierra Leone colony, West Africa. Say Peter became disheartened when he saw as broken promises of the land by the British government and decided to travel to England to demand the land promises to him and others. Peter gathered the signatures of African American settlers in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Say before getting funds to travel to London. Say with the risk of being enslaved, convinced by the government to settle the blacks in Nova Scotia. Elsewhere, say in 1791, Peters went to London, where he helped convince the royal government, say with the help of Granville Sharp, to allow to settle a new colony in Sierra Leone that was to be Freetown. Sierra Leone. Peters was well received during the trip to London, and say he was introduced in some notable people there by his former command, say General Henry Clinton, who was political. I can't get that word. I'm sorry, y'all. Say out of favor. It say particular. Shit, y'all. I don't know what the fuck going on. Sorry, y'all. It say out of favor. Say it was decided in London that Peters and the naval officer John Clarkson, the brother of the English abolitionist Thomas Clarkson, would assist in recruiting blacks to settle in Sierra Leone. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes when I make mistakes like that, that shit make me fuck the whole or make me mess everything up already. So all right, so we see what's pretty much going on. All right, so we seeing that Thomas Peters, they saying first he came from Nigeria. First he was in Nigeria, then the French captured, then the French brought him to Louisiana. Then from Louisiana, they sold him to an Englishman. Then from being sold to an Englishman, he somehow, that's something maybe I overread that, but nonetheless, though, we get to do that in the next passage, all right? But nonetheless, it say Sierra Leone, it say after convincing over 1,100 of the 3,500 American blacks to return to Africa. They say in 1792 they arrived at St. George Bay Harbor. Legend has it Thomas Peters led the newly named Nova Scotian ashore, signing an old Christmas hum. They say though most likely it was other more influenced religious leaders. Peter soon became at odds with the newly established Governor John Clarkson, and he claimed himself the speaker generally of Annapolis, Royal, Nova Scotia settled, although he received support from influential figures among the previous settlers like Abraham Elliott Griffin and Henry Beaverhunt. That's a fucked up name. So eventually, the overwhelming majority of Nova Scotia chose John Clarkson as their true leader, and Peter became disheartened, so he was hated. So they say soon after Peter died of malaria. Now he died of malaria. Wow. They say in Freetown during the first rainy season. It says 1792. All right, so that tells you. So boom, that pretty much tells you his life. But my thing is, somebody put on there that he was from Nigeria, which they said in here too. But I'm gonna go to the next one. Let's see this. So this pretty much says the same thing. But it doesn't say he was from Nigeria. This one doesn't say nothing about him. And they got sources, see? They got sources right here. But, I assume that whoever passed that around said he was from Nigeria because it was another, somebody else said the same thing. Like, matter of fact, look. This one. All right, so. No, that's not. So, Thomas Peters. Now, they say 18th century right here. All right, but they say throughout the Atlantic world, enslaved men were able to gain freedom through military services. Say Thomas Peters displayed leadership during the American Revolution in Nova Scotia, Canada, and in Sierra Leone, West Africa. So when the British offered freedom to slaves, all right, so that's how he got his freedom. All right, say who fled their rebellion. So, all right, so the ones, all right, so check it out. So the runaway slave, because they knew the land, and it wasn't just because they were slaves. Remember, you honestly think that these people was African. You honestly think they was Africans. You honestly think an African can run away. And remember, it's different things going on here. It's a totally different environment. Even if it is another hot environment, you got things that's different. You have like they get said he died of malaria when he went over there because there was things over there that you have to get used to. So that'll tell you something else though. But people in America get malaria too because the mosquitoes is terrible in certain parts of the Caribbean and elsewhere. So it doesn't just come from Africa, but that's what they would lead you to believe. But understand this too. Basically, I'm just trying to prove that he wasn't a Nigerian, that he was from here. You understand what I'm saying? Because and then I tell you another tale, right? Nigerians wasn't enslaved by the English heavily like that. Okay? And when you read the story, when you read history, like you go look up little articles, like, well, nah, that's something else right there. It shows you. It say the British followed in 18. Now they tell you, check this shit out. They tell you that most of, let me see something. I think it was this one. Let's say colonization of Africa. Say between 1870 and 1900, they say African faced European imperialist aggression, they say diplomatic pressure, military invasion, and eventually conquest of colonization. So at the same time, African society put up various forms of resistance against the attempt to colonize their country. They say imposed foreign domination. By the early 13th century, however, much of Africa, except Ethiopia, Liberia, has been colonized by European power. So they tell you that now. So think of it like this, right? If they was already in this country from the 1500s, imagine how many men it took to take over this land and to go in Africa at the same time. And Africa is more vast, right? Because think of it like this, right? They could not get all the way to think that to be a fool and not see when you doing this, you gotta really look at the map. And we know that this shit is off. The map might be much closer than what we think it is. You know what I'm saying? It might be much closer than what we think it is. But just think about this. Like, all right, all of this right here, it will be considered the West Coast. All of this is the West Coast. All right. So you see all of this. You see all of this right here that they showing. All of this is fucking desert. This is a desert land. Now understand this. Right? Think of it. All of this is the fucking desert. Okay? Without modern technology, I don't think people can live out here effectively like that. Okay? This is the desert. Look at it. Now, unless there's lakes and rivers and shit that got fresh waters and fresh streams, I would, it's just like I said, you have to look at time from history and think about it like this. If this is dirt, this is unfertile land, no grass is growing, no vegetation is growing, meaning that obviously the land is not fertile here, or the soil is not fertile, or whatever. And maybe I could be wrong about that, but from my limited understanding of growing and doing no farm work or whatever, I understand you got to put work minerals into the soil for the soil to be fertile, for it to even grow vegetation or whatever. But nonetheless, though, all of this is fucking desert if you look at it, right? Then you get this little part right here, from here all the way across here to Ethiopia, and then you get some of these countries down here. Okay, so you see all like land, you see like this would be considered jungle and all that, right? But if you look at this, all right, so they all on the East Coast. I just went off of course or whatever, but I was just looking at this right here to show you that this is all desert. We know that this wasn't desert before. We know that land, people, life didn't inhabit this place, and this probably was like a large vegetation area, but something happened or whatever. And like I said, we don't know how far. We know we know that the map is off. We know that Europe can fit into South America. They said 2.5 times, man. So if they showing you Europe all huge and shit, like bigger than all the continents, but they can only fit South America twice. But nonetheless, don't be a fool. Don't think that all these continents, you got Germany, they was coming in, snatching Africans going over here, Ireland, United Kingdom, all these people's coming all the way down here, grabbing people from the coast and they shooting across here. Yeah, and they warming at the same time. So, that's just going off a little topic with Thomas Peters. But let me see something. This was another one. So let's check for this. No, hold up. This, I think I already put this one. Alright, this time. Alright, boom. This is the first one I started. Alright, so let me just read this. I'm going to be done with this one, and I'm going to continue with my continuation on the maroons of Syria. Alright, and then just remember this too, right? Just in case. Alright, I'm going to just go back into a little bit more of this just to let you know something. So we read Thomas Peters again, young black soldier, Freetown, Sierra Leone. They say legend has given Thomas Peters a noble birth in West Africa. Okay, all right. Say when he was supposedly kidnapped as a young man and brought as a slave to the American colonies. Now, all right. Now we already know that they was kidnapping people from here, but they're telling you that the French was grabbing people. So I already touched on it. You have to look and see how was the French grabbing people and then bringing them here it just doesn't make no sense. It just doesn't make no sense. How you going to bring slaves to a land you might not make it, or you never been at, you don't know what the fuck is going on or whatever. And you're not really truly colonized, because the French, they had colonial colonies set up, but it wasn't like, it was more, they got along, honestly. From my stories, it was saying that the French was actually more, like they was more cooler with the Indians than any of the other people. You know what I'm saying? I just, like I said, I don't know what they claim to be cool, or what they claim to be like people who got along, but this is what I read. This is what I read from the information. All right, so it says kidnapped as a young man from West Africa. Not saying we're at West Africa. This is his biography. Let's see what's this up. I don't say nothing, no fun. So, nigga, that number here. All right, so, let's see. He supposedly kidnapped as a young man, brought as a slave to the American colony. The earliest documentary, they say, evidence placed him in 1776 as the 38-year-old slave of William Campbell in Wilmington, North Carolina. So in 1776, he was 30. Remember, they said he was kidnapped when he was 22. When he was 22, right? They said he was. This is one of the other articles said. They don't say it in this one, but the other article said he was kidnapped when he was 22. So that's 16 years later, 38. So that means that 16 years later, he had to adapt to all these different environments or whatever. So, all right. So see, 30-year-old slave to William Campbell, Wilmington, North Carolina. It said that year, encouraged by the proclamation issued by the government, Lord Denmore of Virginia in 1775, promising freedom to rebel-owned slaves who joined the loyalist forces. All right, so it's saying that he joined. Remember, we already touched on this, but I'm just enlightened, just going back over a little bit more. All right, so with the lawyers for say Peter fled Campbell's plantation and enlisted, and so he fled the plantation and enlisted in the Black Pioneer. So it was that easy for him to fled the plantation, and he knew how to get to Virginia that easy. If he was in North Carolina, how the hell he know the sense of direction if he'd been on his plantation and he's not supposed to be indigenous? And that's the thing that's bugging me out. That all these people that come from deep Africa and all that, as big as America is, and big as these states are, you think people was just taking these travels like that unless you knew the land, because along the way you had to eat plants and certain things that was growing. So you had to know certain things. You had to be indigenous to the land. So anybody that ran away was more likely indigenous, because you're not going to run away if you don't know the environment. You don't know the environment. Maybe some of them, maybe a few of the Africans supposedly, or whatever you believe, but I don't even believe. I believe all the runaway slaves are Aborigine. Until you prove to me how many people they brought here, then you can't prove to me at all that anybody was brought here. Because from my research, you're telling me there's Indian slaves at the same time that they're supposed to be African slaves, and this shit is not talked about. Like you okay? So you forgot to leave that out in the history. You forgot to, and then if you do put it in history, you try to show that it was in separate parts, like trying to say, oh, well, the Indians was a slave, because the story that they tell you, the Indians, you'll think that these people was in North Dakota or somewhere else. No, these people was in the South. They was in the South. So then you gotta re-gather your way you thought of the shit, or the way you was taught this history. All right, so he rebelled, and so he left the plantation. It's enlisted in the Black Pioneers in New York. So he wasn't from here. He was in North Carolina, and somehow joined the Black Pioneers in New York. It's saying 1790, in response to a new invitation to rebel on slaves and place them under the British protection, whether they wish to bear arms for the crown or not. Say a 26-year-old woman, Sally, from Charleston, South Carolina, appeared in a British camp, and she too joined the Black Pioneers in the service. She met Peter. So this is when you hear all of these abolists or whatever, or these black loyalties. These are people who were slaves that was joining these groups, that the Europeans was allowing them. But remember, at that point in time, man, you done forgot your culture, forgot who you are. You're just trying to survive at this point in time, all right? So, it said appeared in a British camp and teach. So it say Peters, it say home by 1777 was promoted to sergeant. I said, after we read that, it says when a provisional peace agreement was signed in Paris on November 30, 1782, the Peters were, now remember, I think when this peace agreement, now look, when the Paris peace agreement, all right, so let me read it to you. Say November 30, 1782, they say the Peters were in New York awaiting excavation. The ship carrying them safely went to Bermuda in 1783, and then to Annapolis, Royal, Nova Scotia, so where they disembarked in May. They left. It's saying May 1784. They said they were among 3,500 free black loyalists took them to Nova Scotia after the revolution. He said that he went there, he didn't like it. They started like some type of protest or whatever. All right. So we see right here that it's a lot of things that's inconclusive. For one thing, they telling you that in the other article that he may have met his wife because they were on the same slave plantation, but in this one it's telling you that he was in North Carolina and she was in South Carolina. Okay, so that's just little stuff you gotta look for. Charleston, South Carolina. Right, all right, so like I said, that's just little stuff you gotta look for. But I got something for y'all, just for the people, just to back or support my theory that it was Indian slaves in Carolina. So the stories can be twisted along the way according to the imagination of the person who reading. Or because sometimes they run into brick walls and they make assumptions, and you only make an assumption according to your level of education or what you've been told. You cannot assume something that you can't conceive or something that you never have thought or researched. So this is what I'm conceiving. All right, give me a second. All right, so it's the arrival of the Englishmen in North Carolina from Richard Hawthorne, whatever the fuck his name is. The discourse and concern of the Western paint. All right, so let me just move it down to here. They say when English settlers arrived in the Low Country range in late 16th century, they encountered American Indian grouping. Including the Wando, whatever it ends right here with the Damascus. They say many of these indigenous people have already been exposed to European, though Spanish and French exploration, and their population was so-called decimated. All right. They say to those survived, engaged, strategized with the Carolina settlers, they say in trade and military alliance as well. Now look, remember, now even though he joined the black loyalties, but listen to this. They say those who survived engaged in strategically with Carolina settlers in trade and military alliances, as well as conflict on open warfare. Alliances of rivals shifted over time, creating a complex web of collaboration and exchange, as well as animosity between American Indians and Carolina settlers. They say slavery continued to tension between Low Country Native groups and Carolina settlers while attempting to replicate the Barbadian system of plantation agriculture dependent on enslaved African. Now, here they go. It said Carolina settlers also enslaved significant number of American Indians. Settlers traded guns and other manufactured goods to American Indians for deer skin and slaves, creating a cycle of debt dependence of the often led to European trade of they say Barbadians. I can't pronounce that shit. Barbadians were especially involved in developing the American Indian slave trade in the Carolina to the West Indies. All right, so now listen to that. Now I bet you they wasn't in the slave trade initially going to the West Indians, because what did we read? Check this out. I keep all notes up here. Let me see something. What was we? I keep all things up there when we doing this research. The Maroons were the escaped slaves. They ran away from the Spanish-owned plantation when the British took the Caribbean island from Spain in 1655. Okay? So they took it in 1655. So they're telling you here, say while Native Americans were familiar with the Low Country landscape, they say could often escape from Carolina plantations. They could not easily escape from West Indian plantations. Other American Indians was held captive in Carolina. By the 1720s, the Carolina census included 1,500 enslaved American Indians out of an estimated total population of 17,000. Now check this shit out. Now I don't see that. I need to find that census. I need to find that Carolina census and find. I cannot find it. And most of the time you find this, the writing is so, you can't, it's not even worth reading. It's just something to show somebody, like, look, okay, I got the Carolina census, but I can't understand it, neither can you. Okay. But we know in the 1790 census that if they saying it's 1500, they saying by 1720. Now we can just play with this number right here. We can just assume that out of 1700, how many of them they was calling Africans, because we know, according to the 1790 census, that they was not splitting people up. Okay. And all this relates to Thomas Peters not being probably a Nigerian. Okay. This is all leading back to that. Okay. Because where was he at? In Carolina. Where did they say, look, it's a landscape and could easily often escape from Carolina plantation. They could not easily escape from West Indian plantation. It say other American Indians were held captives in Carolina. Okay? So it's say, so this is in the 1700s. Okay? 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 It say angered by landing coachmen, trader abuse, debt, and enslavement. It say a confederation of American Indians attacked English settlers. It say in plantation during the Yamasee War, 1715.
Alrighty. Let's get this thing situated. We got the African brother who been waiting, patient. Hold on. Before I bring him in, let me fix my mic so everything is situated. Give me 45 seconds, y'all. I'll be right back. Let's get a mic check. Hey, let's get it. Shout out to everybody in here. We got the brother OHF. Let's get a mic check from this brother. Peace. Can you hear us? Let's get a mic check. Can y'all hear me? Y'all hear y'all? And I'm gonna let him speak. Go ahead. See if we got an echo this time. Oh, see, I didn't kick him off, y'all. He left. He left. So I'll wait for him to come back. He got the link in the chat, and it's the link in his Instagram, by the way. So he doesn't need the link. The link being in his Instagram. All right, let's see if we get a mic check this time. Mic check, mic check. Can you hear us now, brother? Can you hear us? Can you hear us now, brother? Your mic is unmuted, by the way. So I don't know why nobody can hear you. And nobody's messing with the thing. Your thing is let me bring you back in again so you know. Everybody's mic is unmuted. Everybody's in here. He ain't speaking, you guys. He left out himself. Y'all seen that, right? He left out himself. Let me bring you back in again. Oh shit, what the fuck was that? I got a feedback on my end now. So let's see if the brother gonna come back on. 'Cause I know how he is. He is slick. He's a slickster. And while he was on her, I was on my IG feminine, so you know there wasn't no funny business going on behind the scenes. No paper balling, totally quiet as I film. So he's done, man. This guy's a fucking coward. Well, that's third time's the charm.
What's up, bro?
Peace. So
So I for some
it ain't too bad.
so no, for some reason I can't get you through my laptop. So I don't know what's going on with that.
It's a little echo, but not too bad as it usually be. So
So what I'm going to do is, if I since I can't share the share through the screen share, I'm just going to just flip my camera around, let you see it that way. All right.
well, your camera's so you wouldn't be able to see it this way. So like, what I would want you to do is what this is what I do. Come back on your laptop. You got plenty enough time. We're not in a rush. We're not rushing you. We can do a mic check before the bill. I can walk you all the way through it. Cause I'm actually on my laptop right now speaking to you. And it seems pretty clear. And so I know there's no issues with using this on the laptop, brother. So maybe you can go through the steps again, take your time, and we'll get you in here. But you gotta screen share, and people gotta be able to see it on the screen fully and sources. They ain't gonna be able to see that from your phone. We done tried this with several different people. You're not the first one. You're actually like the 12th. But
So what I'm saying is this right here, bro. That's what I'm saying. You
yeah,
see my
but
screen?
they can't see it here.
Okay. All right. It might not be the good resolution, but we can make it work.
They can't see it at all. So the way we're gonna make it work is you get on that laptop that you're on and come back on and try it again. It'll work, brother. Trust me. This is what these are for. It's what this program is for, brother. Come back on. I got you. I take good care of you. I make sure you won't get in no good trouble. No good trouble. You won't get in no trouble. So let's see what's going on.
So, bro, I just heard the man read Wikipedia for about 10 minutes, man. We're not in the realm of scholarship, bro. We doing entry level knowledge. So once again, if I cite a source, it could be a quick search.
If you cite a source, and if it's in a quick search, it usually pops up in Wikipedia, and then external links take you to further sources and references. But luckily, you're not doing. Luckily, that video is from almost 5 years ago. So, from one of my brothers. Shout out to the brother I'm touching this one. But luckily, when you're dealing with me, you'll get actual sources from scientific journal reports, Smithsonian, National Geographics, things of that nature.
All right. So my question is regarding what documentation are you using personally?
Before we get into your question, I actually have a conglomerate of questions myself. And since you're here, I would like for you to get on your. Now you got a lot of echoing going on in the chat now. So if I appreciate if you just come back on your laptop, brother. Like I don't know, you seem like you having a hard time wanting to do that or something like that. Your brother jumped off. Hopefully he's coming back on his laptop. He's definitely want to run. He jumped off, y'all. This some guy from Instagram, y'all. He been stalking my page. He been stalking my page for forever. Let's see if we can let the brother back on. Alrighty. Peace. You on your laptop? You might have to allow the microphone, because I think you allowing everything except for the mic. Hold on, just stay right there. Let me check your shit right here while we right here. Check mic. We're gonna check his mic. Now go ahead and say something. I don't listen. I'm gonna tell you like this. He's getting on his laptop and not even saying a word. He's not even saying a word. He just being quiet and then he's jumping off. Then he gonna hop back on and say it ain't working. Watch, watch. He ain't saying. He just getting on doing like this. He ain't doing shit. He just sitting there being quiet. He gonna hop back on. Come on, man. That's a weak ass tactic, bro. Man, I don't know what his name is on IG, Dion. Like I be studying these niggas' names on IG. I don't even respond to his posts, nigga. Only thing I say is when you want to come on the channel. That's all I ever say to these folks. I ain't with these toys. I just be wanting to know what you got to say.
What's good, family?
What's going on, big dog Leonardo?
See, the link working, so it gotta be him. That's all I came up here to make sure the link was working, family.
Man, that link work. And his laptop supposed to work. I don't know what's going on with him. That's a pan boo boo tactic. That's a
Hold
boo.
it was working last night, right?
Yep.
Real good. Hit that effect, girl.
Yeah, man. These niggas be foo as hell.
Exactly. They think they know our history better than we know our history.
And I understand that because they think we're dumb, lost niggas with no culture. They don't think that we know who we are. And then when they have
Exactly.
these conversations, they really be like, damn. They really be like, damn.
Because I seen you last night, you were throwing more facts at him than he could handle.
And I didn't mean to overlap them and go into Super Saiyan mode when it comes to these facts and sources. It's just like it's a lot of shit that y'all got wrong. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You
And their ideology is wrong too. I hate to say it.
Man, all that shit fake. He didn't know shit about what he was talking about. The Dogon. The Dogon is part of your tribe, but you don't know about them? You don't know that they call you. You start talking about this, that, and the third. No, what about what they worship? Amen. What about Prometheus? What about Sirius B? What about all these things that's spooky as hell?
Exactly.
That all goes back to the X and the cross and all these other little things. That's why I asked why you think I asked what his religion is. His religion is pretty much a secret society. It's like masonry. It's like skulls and bones. Skulls, you whatever the fuck that little secret society is.
Exactly. Uh, they
Yeah.
only know what they're kind of like what the people that indoctrinated them taught them. That's what they know. A lot of them. I ain't gonna say all of them. A lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them, man. Like I said, he kept saying that. I forget what else he said though, but He all right, dude. I wasn't trying to argue. It was just I was wanting to get his perspective from a continental African who's never been to the Americas of his perspective of black people in America. Like, how did they get here? You see what I'm saying? So that was what that bill was for last night. You know what I mean? Because we don't get to have too many conversations with continental Africans about a transatlantic slave trade. You see what I'm saying? It's usually a Pan African or African that lives in America. You see what I'm saying? And so you don't get to have these conversations. But obviously, he's under some type of indoctrination for him to know things about America, to use a laptop, to be able to get on. You see what I'm saying? IG. He's very equipped with American culture for him to say that his people around him and people around the world is infatuated with American culture, except for his people. That's bullshit. And I didn't want to call it out because you're on American influence culture by being on a laptop, IG, and these other things corresponding with us. So it contradicts it. What he be saying?
Exactly. And what I was gonna say is that we got a lot of UKs that's from over there that went to the UK that relate with us also.
Right. What my man say in the chat? He said he talking about his laptop don't work. That nigga making a video on his laptop about me right now. He's so obsessed. Nigga, I ain't chasing off no friends, Dion. These are your brothers. I'm trying to get your brothers right. What did Africans invent? They invent the foo-foo, bro. That's why we call them foo-foo. They act a foo-foo. You understand me? You know when the nigga said they acting a fool, now he acting a foo-foo.
Shit, and I want to say this: the United States had a lot of effect on their culture, on a lot of things. Their medicine, we fucked them up with a lot of shit. The United States government did. Bill Gates and a lot of other doctors before him was over there experimenting with them. So how, I don't get it.
They are experimenting.
You know what I mean? If y'all was so supreme, y'all wouldn't have had them crackers going over there doing all them testing on y'all.
That's true. But shit, I mean, these honkies will just test your ass out of nowhere. They're like, hey, you want some candy? Eat it
I'll be
out
like,
and then
hell no.
you want some candy, sir?
Got that white lady at the market. Would you like some? No, thank you, ma'am.
You want a sample of this bacon? Motherfucker.
Hell no.
That's the type of shit they be on.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, though, man. Listen, man. That's why I be trying to tell y'all, man. These people don't have a clue about who we are in America. These people are totally lost, man. This nigga said the transatlantic slave trade started in the 1400s and never explained it.
Yeah, the slave, that was the 1700s, right?
Yeah, that was doing like the 1600s.
Yeah, 1700s. That's what I thought. Okay. Cause
Right.
I ain't good at the historical facts. I'm still learning, and I ain't afraid to say I'm still learning because I'm open minded. You feel me?
Hey, that's right. Hey, J Rock. Shout out to my brother J Rock, man. Hey, we got 119 in the chat, 119 on the likes, but we got 165 in the chat. Can we please get the likes up, family?
Hit
Can we
that
get
like button, family.
Nah, my bad, running back. I need to run it back. Now, somebody say run it back. Somebody said run it back. Yeah, we need to start letting these brothers. There was no transatlantic slave trade. Brother Noof, you don't believe that it was a transatlantic slave trade?
Not on the capacity that they say it was. I
Yeah,
don't either.
I believe millions of African slaves came over here.
I don't believe that.
But I believe that these African slaves was African slaves. Just literally what they say. White African slaves. They didn't call them white. White wasn't even a word that they used at that particular time when referencing these particular people. So when you deal with slavery and you got slaves, and you got white indentured servants, and then you got white cargo, and all during the same time that they say your black ass came from over here, and the only result that you got is a fluctuation of Europeans in the Americas. That shows an African slave trade during the transatlantic dealing with motherfucking white folks.
I got you. I got you.
Shout out to my brother nonetheless in the building.
Peace.
Hey yo, yo, that nigga trying to debate, yo.
Yeah, he's trying to debate, I think. You want to smoke him nonetheless? I give you something to smoke. Give me a
Yeah,
new
yo, cause yo, I ain't even need no book, yo. I don't even need no book for that dumbass shit.
he on here now. Talk to him.
Yo, hold up. Let me ask you a question, yo. Play it real quick, yo. For real, for real. It ain't really no difficult question. You know what I'm saying? Yo, how the fuck did the hold up? Did you say that the transatlantic trade slave started in the motherfucking 1400s, yo?
He
That
back.
brother, the brother
He jumped
on
back
her
on.
did the brother Mendinka from last night said it started in the 1400. But mind you, nonetheless, this brother never been to America at all. He's never been to America.
Hey, yo, yo, look, yo. It's common sense, yo. Them niggas ain't even know about America and shit until 1492. So, yo, so about a few weeks later, they starting up a trade slave and shit, yo. Shit just don't make no damn sense, yo. You feel me? They
Exactly.
already admitted that they ain't know about motherfucking another side of the motherfucking planet and shit, yo. You know what I mean? Now all of a sudden they gonna turn around and do a trade slave. Come on, yo. Shit just be dumb, yo. You know what I mean? So how the fuck they gonna just grab up niggas, not even knowing about a motherfucking a motherfucking whole different world and shit. Now all of a sudden they grabbing slaves, yo.
Right, they grabbing slaves and they know how to get her and they
Yeah,
got the means to travel. They done mastered uh 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 uh
overnight.
they done master expedition in large numbers in fleets overnight during the transatlantic. That means they figured out how to store fresh water. They figured out the fastest route. They knew how to make store food that would last over this journey in moist areas that contain dampness. It was a lot of factors that went into there. Oh,
Yeah,
what you
yo. That shit ain't easy. Yo, they acting like that shit easy. Like you just grab up a bunch of people and shit, throw them on some motherfucking boat, and then have the motherfucking shit organized and shit when you get there. Matter of fact, the land, they ain't even know how to get over the motherfucking terrain and shit over here, bro. You know what I'm
right?
saying?
I'm tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell. They still don't.
Yo, and
When you go deal with Chief Cornstarch and you go deal with some of them tribes that was dealing in that Roanoke area and up in that area and them early people, these people was begging the Indians. A lot of these Indians that became friends with a lot of the settlers because they came in as you know what I mean, weak as hell. They didn't know what was going on. We was watching whole bands of these colonists come over here and die within weeks, within months just by the lack of them not knowing how to survive. So you know us being the people like we'll throw a little tip out there, be like, yo, you shouldn't stay right here during this time period. You shouldn't do this during this particular time. You should use this to keep y'all warm. And we'll throw out a few tips here and there to the point that they were saving these things. This was Bible to them. This was gospel to them. You see what I'm saying? Without these particular things, they would have never made it over here. Y'all got
yo,
to get into the story of Chief Cornstarch.
no bullshit, yo. Look, yo. And first of all, they wasn't coming across the Atlantic. They was going up through the lakes the Great Lakes and shit, and they was traveling down. I'm saying before them niggas was even had a hold of the commerce or the important trade route which went
They
through the
was coming over here
Mississippi.
for pelt. They was coming over here for pelt reasons. They was looking for furs and shit. So they
Right,
originally came
right.
in through Canada.
They was coming up through Canada. That's where everybody was coming through. They wasn't really coming through until Jamestown was set up in the 1600s in the Atlantic. But most of the trade was going through the Mississippi, bro.
And by the time you really never hear about them because most of them wasn't making it. By the time they made it down, they was not made. They was getting wiped out by whole tribes.
Well, when Jamestown was set up, right? They had a little colony over there
I'm talking
called
about before Jack when they was coming down through the rivers and shit.
yeah,
You
they
never
was coming through the rivers at first. Yeah, that's where everybody was coming through. They wasn't coming through no damn Atlantic.
They started coming through the Atlantic by the time you start hearing about the Roanoke colonies.
Right.
Which is the first colony that was set up. You got to deal with Sir Walter Raleigh, his investing into these explorations and shit like that. Yeah.
And they set up the Isles of Wight too over there. You know what I mean? Off of Virginia, the Isles of Wight was where they had the little slave colony. Because
that's
look,
why England, New England.
The Slavic people stayed in the Isles of Wight. You can look that up. So the Isles of Wight was where they was setting up like their little Slavic little camps and shit. You know what I mean? Because when them Slavs was coming off the boat, they wasn't immediately going and having employment and shit. They ain't have no owners yet. So they had a little area for them and shit. You know what I mean? The Isles of Wight. And the Indians was coming there fucking them up. You know what I'm saying? And they shit, kicking their asses and shit, yo. So they had to set up shop, you know what I mean, in a different area and shit. But when you look up the Mississippi, though, see, this is what people don't understand. It was pirates and shit, yo, on the Mississippi, too. You feel me? That shit was shut down. So you couldn't even come down that month. You couldn't get past motherfucking Illinois and shit for real, if you was foreign.
Right, you got to get into Huckleberry Finn. He one of the few people that rode the Mississippi from the Gulf all the way up,
right?
Because you know it flows north, and it's tales of him being on there during the 1800s, and roughly around 1811, he states that the earthquake had happened. He charted this all in his logs, and that the earthquake was so effective in that particular area that the river it actually started running in opposite direction. And that's all mentioned in Huckleberry Finn book called Life on the Mississippi. Life on the Mississippi. And it's actually a good book. Y'all should check it out.
Yeah, I got that motherfucker, yo. I got that joint somewhere and shit. But that motherfucker, people be thinking that shit is just, they overlook that book, yo, but that shit got a lot of gems in it.
Yeah, got a lot of gems. He said you couldn't even see across the Mississippi for the motherfucker. You can't see across it. He said he never went to the end of the Mississippi. He never made it to the end. It ain't one person who got in the Mississippi and rode the Mississippi out all the way to the end. Everybody else do all these other rivers, did all this other shit, but ain't nobody rode the Mississippi all the way out.
Yeah, that motherfucker could probably go to somewhere else and shit. Nigga. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
Could you imagine a motherfucking river running backwards after feeling an earthquake? Come on, man. And mind you, during 1811, what happened in 1811? The Madrid earthquake. That was during what? What area were they would affected? The Mississippi, Louisiana.
And Tecumseh predicted that joint.
Right. Hey, if you listening to us on another device, you're gonna have to turn that other device off. Or hit mute or something.
No, that ain't me. I just got this one.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the new dude that's on this motherfucker. You actually crispy clear. I ain't heard you this clear since the hangout days, brother. Nonetheless,
I know, yo.
Nigga, you ain't been this goddamn close.
Don't jinx me, yo. Don't jinx me. Cause
You in there? I can tell that bitch locked in. Shit.
yeah, this shit gonna be scraping, scritchy, scratchy, yo, in a minute since you said something, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 1213 is when they first wrote the first Popol Vuh, right? You got the it's 3 or 4 different Popol Vuhs. One was written in 1213, one was in the 1400s, one was in the 1500s, one was in the 1600s. This all goes along with the Dooms, the Verses, Manifest Destiny, all that shit. These was all letters from the Pope, issues from the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to realize who he was talking about and who was his slaves in the 1200s. Who was in the South America in the 1200s? Jesuits. These was up under his order. These was his servants. These was his slaves.
Yeah.
At this particular time during that treaty, America hadn't even been breached remotely yet, except for by Asian invaders 200 years prior to that. And prior and leading up to this particular point, you got to realize the Vatican had invaded some parts of Japan and some parts of China. Yeah, China. It is not ironic that they found these same that after they went to China, they went straight to South America, and it's ironic that's where the Chinese initially came to too. So I think they got a lot of these documents from these people and maps and followed up. That's what they always have done. A lot of people don't know when these people came over here. A lot of these Jesuit monks, man, was coming over here stealing a lot of these records from us from some of the operating Inca. Right? You got the war between Amaru, Tupac Amaru, and the Jesuits. It's a lot of shit. Tupac Amaru, man. You got the battle at Lapapalooza and them trying to smuggle out the gold, but it ended up not making it out, and it ended up being allegedly buried at Snake Island. You got all that shit going on during the 1200s. All this is taking place during the 1200s. Yeah, 1724 Christian color codes. Yeah, that's where they get their doctrine of discovery is. That's what these polices are enforcing. The same color conduct. That's what it is. Color of law. What you think color of law is? Black male, white male. That's color of law, bro. It's the same thing. Some people fall subject up under that. Yeah, the doctrine of discovery is a forever storm that's still affecting us right now, like a lingering storm. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother, our historian, man. Come on, what's up? You got something to say? You had a question for him, brother. Nonetheless, go ahead. I'm gonna let y'all get it.
No,
I'll
so
let you this guy. But you got
Man, I forgot what the question was now. Shit. Go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
have you read White Cargo though? Has anybody read that book? I see y'all display the cover all the time. Has anyone actually read the book, like in its entirety? So you have read the book.
Yo, what you talking about, bro? That book old as shit.
White Cargo. It's not that old.
Hold up, yo. Let me show you something, yo. You talking about this book right here, yo? Talking about this one right here?
Yes. That book, yes.
All right, what about it?
I said, has anyone read it?
No,
Yeah,
we
right.
just about it.
That
We
book old,
just like
bro.
to look at it, man. You know what? What's your question?
I mean, so here's the deal. If you reference the actual book, the book does not at all. Like on your page, for instance, you have a picture of a Harper's Ferry ad from 1860. If everybody goes to your Instagram page, they'll see it. It's an ad from 1860, and what it's showing is it's showing a quadroon children and an African man. It's about 4 children, and what the ad is doing is raising money for the new schools for Black kids in Louisiana. It's also a pro-abolition ad by the Harper's Ferry Weekly. That's on your page. You have them advertised as slaves. It's not slaves. That picture is referencing quadroon children who would be African by law. So that's on your page. The book White Cargo is a different time period. So the book White Cargo is from about 1630 to about 1783. The indenture laws end around 1800. It moves towards a race-based slave system. In 1800, it's exclusively African captives. They're dissuaded from capturing Indians around 1682. It's laws that explicitly state that. If you reference policy, you can see that it's in 1833, the act of actually capturing an indentured servant is against the law. 1833, it's a policy. So what I'm saying is you have that picture on your page that's demonstrating and showing people, oh, look, there were white slaves, when in fact, those children are not white slaves. They were quadroon children and octoroon children who were being advertised on a Harper's Ferry.
That came white slaves that came from Africa.
But I'm referencing, here's the problem with what you're doing now. All of you are just talking. I'm referencing specific policy. I'm referencing specific articles that everybody can go and look at right now. I have the book White Cargo up right now. So in terms of, so hold on, let me finish, bro. Let me finish, bro.
You don't have to finish. Are you on your laptop? Because you could have pulled this up on your laptop, but
I'm not on my laptop, bro. I'm not on my laptop. I'm on my phone.
Everything you're saying is all right.
The issue, sir, is you know. None of you are actually referencing policy now. You're just talking. You're just saying random dates and making claims. I'm referencing specific policies, things that people can go right now, put in their Google search. They can put 1860 Harper's Ferry, and they can see the actual picture that I'm talking about. It's on your page. I'm referencing White Cargo. That's up right now. It might not be great resolution, but you can see the book. It confirms the transatlantic slave trade exactly as is. It talks about the time period. So that's why I'm saying it's important to read these books as opposed to just show the covers. All of this is highly documented. I have another page that's devoted exclusively to the records. We have the records. We have the time periods. We know the legal definition of Negro means a person of African descent. The legal definition of color, African descent. We can verify that. There's documentation and law to verify that. I guess my end point is I want to really figure out the documentation you guys are referencing and using to identify yourself as Indians. From a policy standpoint, what are you using? What documents are you referencing that would separate you from the African captives? Because there's no law that I've witnessed that would make the Article 1, Section 2 applicable to us. I don't see any law that you're referencing. I hear a lot of the claims, but I don't hear the actual specific policy that you're referencing. Because most of us are referencing census documents. Because you don't have birth certificates before 1900. You don't have death certificates before 1900s. So you're referencing census documents. So specific. What exactly are you guys referencing that makes you Indian by law?
The term Negro, first of all, the term Negro in legal term does not mean African descent, first of all. So you keep lying all the conversation, bro.
I'm sorry, hold on.
You know you're lying. That's one of the facts that you're not going to get on your laptop to ever show any of your sources. You're just going to jumble around with your lies.
All right, so you're counting on what I'm saying. So what everybody can do, like I said, everybody can simply consult the Merriam-Webster's Dictionary of 1828, and they can verify it. I can show it on my screen. Hold on.
You said legal definition. So what I'm going to state, I'm going to show you how to cite a source. You can go to the uslegal.com, right? And you're gonna type in legal words, law, and definition, right? And it's backed up by the state. This is the government website. This is all legal law definition. You're gonna type in the word Negro, and it's not gonna state what this brother stated. Just like might I reiterate? Because he
It's on my page, sir. It's on my page. I can show you. And the resolution won't be great, obviously, but I can show you. But what I'm saying is, you're saying that I'm making a false claim about Negro. What 19? Hold on. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish. What 19th century? Hold on. Hear me out.
I'm hearing you out, but you're talking too much. You got to slow it down. Are you referencing, because you said that I've heard the term Negro and I've stated this in site sources in legal terms. How are you looking up the term Negro in legal terms when you never looked up the legal definition? Are you crazy?
So hold on, sir, hold on, slow down. So I just said that you can reference in terms of historic context. Any 19th century dictionary confirms the accuracy of my claim that the term Negro is exclusively for a person of African descent. You can also look at historic context. There's also documents and books that confirm this. You can also look at slave auction advertisements, slave journals. They all confirm this. Hold on. Let me finish, sir. Let me finish. One more thing.
You're talking around. You're not citing a legal site that cites legal definition for the word that you just made claim for. I did. Go to uslegal.com. Type in the word, brothers and sisters. All right. Now let's get to the next thing. You're talking about slaves coming over here, and you're talking about white people not being slaves. But then you're gonna tell me that these white people are from 1760 Harper's Ferry, and these white people was not slaves, but they are something. But their legal term is African. Nigga, listen. First of all,
I have the page up, bro. But hold on. Before you go there,
hold on. I'm about to.
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Stop me before I get to my point, and I know why you about to stop, because this is about to be the dagger for you. Dealing with this particular point, you know that these are slaves, and you just admitted that these people, by legal terms, are identified as African. And when you get into white cargo, it talks about this. And not only to this, because we don't use one book, we take bits and pieces, because not one book has the story, but it does have facts that contain that you can prove to go along with your argument. So to go along with white cargo, what you would do is reference forgotten causes of the Civil War. And if you haven't read that book, brother, then you might not have an understanding of where we coming from, because you're looking at it from a afrocentric point of view, which is an indoctrination ideology.
I want to interrupt your rant, bro. I want to interrupt your rant. I do want to interrupt your rant, because you drifted away from the initial topic. And the initial thing you just said was, what is the legal definition? So you can look at Black Laws, first edition, printed in 1890. Look up the definition of Negro. Look up the definition of color. Hold on. Verify the accuracy of that claim. That's one reference you can consult. So if you want to look at a legal definition for that time that will be applicable for that time, consult both of those editions, the first edition and the second edition. Very clear about who is of African descent by law. So in terms of that specific picture, that picture that I was referencing, that's 1860. Everybody can do a reverse search on your page. You can do a reverse Google search, and what's going to happen is all the images of a white propaganda campaign are going to come up. And they were all quadroon children. If you look at their parents were mulatto. Some of them look more black. They would not be black. I mean, white indentured servants or white slaves. They would be the product of mixed race rape. They were products of rape. So they were not Irish indentures. They were, in fact, quadroon and octoroon children, fair-skinned black folk by law. Big difference. So, I mean, that, like I said, that's on your page, but people are merging the two things. White people were not slaves in the late 19th century or the mid 19th century, only in the early 17th century, according to law. So the indentured servant system is totally outlawed by 1833, but it's kind of done away with by 1729.
Like I said, I'm a reference forgotten causes of the Civil War, because that same point that you talked about, it talks about. It explains it in acute detail of why in the late 1700s going into the early hundreds they're not referring to whites as indentured servants, that they would call these people mulatto. They would call white people mulatto in cases of these particular instances. So don't get it twisted,
A
brother.
person who is black, half African, is mulatto by the
No,
black law's definition.
no,
By the
no, no,
black law's
no,
definition, a person who
no.
is mulatto is a
Let
person
me
who has half African ancestry. Hold on,
let
bro.
me
Hold on.
hold on. It's my rent. It's my turn to get into facts, because you just stated black laws as a legal definition for America's law, which is not. That's for English law. When we over here, we use the United States Boubier's Law Dictionary, or you can use Oxford, which is corresponding with that. And when you get into these particular definitions, it does not state African. It does not state that the term Negro refers to an African
My
exclusively.
challenge is pull it up now.
I already told the people to pull it up, so they already know what to look. This is easy. I just told y'all the actual site to look it up on. I just told you 3 times. And the chat
And 19th century, in 19th century, you also see the term Negro is repeatedly used for African descendants. Also, I really want to get to the main point. What documents are you using to identify yourself as Indian? Indians are separated from Negroes. What documents are you using to identify yourself as an Indian? Separate from Negro.
That's a good question. But before we get into that, because you keep lying about the legal definition once again, what documents do you have that states that you're an African?
So we can reference law. We can reference the application, right? We can. No, hold on. Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir.
Let me say this before you go. Let me say this before you go, brother. Because I'm not saying that you're not, but if you are and you got actual documentations, then you should seek remedy, because they're offering remedy to people that is actually can connect themselves to a transatlantic slave trade. If you say you got documents, you should be seeking remedy. Go ahead.
All right. So in terms of what you just said, right? You said a couple of things, right? So let me hit the first thing. In terms of identifying who is African, you can simply reference law. They're making a distinction between Indian and Negro. Negro, by law, would be a person who is considered of the black race and who also will be considered of the African race, right? Black African race. Indian is a separate category, and every legal definition in the 19th century is going to be a distinction made. It's a distinction made in the Constitution as well. So it's pretty clear, even in terms of mulatto, even in terms of quadroon, all of those terms still reference a person of African heritage. Like I said, I just gave you the definition of 2 definitions from 19th century dictionaries. You can consult any 19th century dictionary and you will see the historic context. So that's the way you're able to understand context, looking at the definition of the time. Secondly, I want to get to this point. What documents are you using to identify yourself as a member of the Indian race as opposed to not being a Negro? Because there's ways to determine by law who is a Negro. So I want to know what documents you are using, all of you, to identify yourself as Indians.
Is there different types of Negro by law? Is there Negro to Terra? Is there Negro to Guinea? But listen, let's get into it, brother. This is how I prove who I am, brother.
In the U.S., not Portugal, U.S. Two different places. That's a Portuguese reference.
The Portuguese was referencing. I know, and that's a source. That's called a source, a first-hand source, because the Portuguese was making distinguishing characteristics between niggas of Africa and niggas of America. They called people of Africa Negro de Guinea, and they call people here Negro de Terra. So This is just a simple distinguishing characteristics. Just another thing, just to take you out, you can go to the 1911 Encyclopedia Britannica, and you can go type in the word Negro, and it's gonna give you a cute definition of what the word means. Right, right. Uh, uh, then another thing is that a lot of documentations during the Reconstruction period wasn't allowed to be was taken away, and then you have the Racial Integrity Act, and then you had uh, 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 other laws that came into play that stopped people from being able to use these particular terms. Then they classify the people as color. Then they classify the people as Negro. Then they classify the people as other things in the midst of these things. So when you're dealing with colonization, you got to deal with where he go. He gone. The brother left. Shit. Just I'm about to light my other wood up. This boy lame as hell.
What's up, big bro?
What's going
Nah,
on?
yo, I'm still here, yo. I'm still here too.
Realize can't call it.
What, he dropped off?
Man, this nigga garbage. Yeah, I believe so. I believe the Negro dropped off. It sounds good. Notice his ass don't never want to come on with that link. I'm gonna drop the link one more time in the chat for you motherfuckers, man. I ain't gonna be on here all day.
Damn, now my shit's starting to break up some of
So
this shit, yo. No, yo, he just talking and talking, yo. He stay on his Negro word,
y'all
yo. I'm
gonna hit
trying
the
to.
link.
Well, I might have to come back in. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yo, Paula.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey,
Oh, let
bro,
me mute nonetheless. He got some ticking
man,
going.
I don't know where you be finding these. Like, just force on them motherfuckers. You're African. No, the fuck I'm not, bitch. Where you finding these guys?
Man, bro, these niggas be coming from Instagram, bro. I'm new to Instagram. Y'all been over here with these niggas for forever. I'm new to the game. I'm trying to see what's cracking with some of these motherfuckers.
Say what? Nah, I was listening to the bill though, man, and just like always, man, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Letting people come in here and speak and let them speak their piece, man. You know what I'm saying? We all got to speak our piece, so I still appreciate that, man. So love to you, love to the whole show, man. Love to the chat, man. Peace and blessings to everybody.
Peace and blessing, brother. Peace, brother. I told you 3 times already, brother.
Your ass is a comedian, man.
Man, that wasn't even a nothing to win. That was lame as hell. He gotta come with something better than that. That shit was lame. He lying
He
about
tried.
everything.
I mean, he tried. He tried. At least he tried.
Right, we give him an A for effort. Fuck it.
You know what I'm saying? Shit. A lot of these motherfuckers
Glennis,
don't even want to come
you
through.
ain't in the back. I don't see you back here, bro. I don't see you back here, bro. Oh, you might be in the wrong one. Let me see if you're in the right one. Oh, that's the wrong one, my G. This the right one right here. I put the wrong one in there. My bad, my G. That's my bad. We got 180 in here. Can we get the likes up? Damn, I'm about to end this motherfucker. If we didn't get the likes up in 30 seconds. Yeah, we back, man. Make sure
What's
you hit
up,
that like
AP?
button, man. Hit that like button. What's going on, Glennis? What's going on, brother Me?
Hey,
Peace,
Yo, the
peace,
link is
everybody.
right.
who was the guy that was on earlier talking about Negro don't mean Indian? Because I'm about to show proof of my genealogy of my third generation granddad serving in World War I, and basically he checked off Negro and Indian citizen. So what is he talking about? That's on the World War I registration card.
Yeah, I got something similar to that too.
So what is he talking about?
Dealing with the Confederacy. Look that
Yeah,
I'm now in the branch of Tennessee, the
correct,
volunteer branch. My family also checked off as Negro and Indian register, Indian citizen and resident.
correct.
So
So what is he talking about, man?
and mind you, this is like 18 something.
Correct. I got my on my fourth generation granddad serving the Civil War, and my third generation granddad serving World War I. So I want to know what is he talking about. Negro means Indian. It just means dark complexion. It just means dark complexion Indian. That's all it means. What's the deal? What's the problem?
Yo, the problem is them Africans, man. They really trying to push the same shit that these white folk been trying to push on us. You African. That's what I think.
Come back. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you
Yeah,
now. What
we
you
hear
say?
you. I hear you,
I
brother.
no, I was saying that the Africans, it seemed like they pushing what the white folks been trying to push on us, that we African. You know what I'm saying? They don't want us to know who the fuck we are. We starting to wake up and we know who the fuck we are. We can feel it in our spirit. You feel me? And it seemed like these black people is just taking up the reins to what the white folks said. You
I
fucking
mean, it's
African.
easy. All they gotta do is go to legaldefinition.com, right? Like I told you. Type in legal definitions. What state, what particular year, you can go through all 50 states because that's how legal game work. And just type in Indian. And then guess what you're gonna get? It's gonna say in colored person. In Indians defined from the Code of Virginia, 1930. This is General Assembly provides legal definition of colored person in Indian.
Correct.
So it gets into more legal definition, colored people, colored Negro, Negro blood colored. This is all referencing the Indian here.
But hey,
And you can get that from the Code of you can get this from the Code of Virginia as amendment to the adjournment of General Assembly 1930. It's on page 26 to be exact. Okay.
You can look it up in the etymology too. It breaks it down in the etymology what Negro is. I mean, it's a
correct.
lot of yeah, it breaks it down. I mean, what we shouldn't be doing is trying to make an argument about, we know who we are, you
That's
know,
right.
um, and at the end of the day, and like I always try to say and promote to us on this landmass, we all one people. You know what I'm saying? And we got to come together, man. We got to come together, and these are good conversations because it actually shows us how much we know and how much we don't know, and how much we can learn from each other.
Yeah, but copper color and color giving used interchangeable. It's the same thing. All they did is took the copper off color and just started calling us colored. That's what they did. I got books to prove that. I mean, come on, give me a damn break.
I hear you.
And that's all they did.
And they did a
Copper
lot of
color
this,
and color is the same damn thing.
and they did a lot of this during the Reconstruction period also. where they
Correct.
really, where they really reverse history. And when he was talking
Hold
about,
on, man.
when he
Listen,
was,
all you gotta do, man, when you look up free persons,
yeah,
when you look up free persons, what is a
hmm
free person?
well, according to Black Law Dictionary, it goes into free white person. And free white persons not Caucasians, Aryans, or Europeans. It don't. It's not even about
I know
Europeans.
that's free white persons.
That's free
Yeah.
white persons.
What is a free persons?
Colored. It's colored. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Aboriginal power. Do you have any ancestors that have money, saved in the uh, in the free man's bank?
Talking about the Freeman's bank account?
Correct.
No, unfortunately, I haven't found any of my ancestors, but I
Well,
know
I
what many
do.
of y'all guys do. You can
Well,
go
I do.
access that money right now. You can
Correct.
access
I
that.
do. And that was a bank made for that was a bank made specially for the Southern Indians. The free man's bank. It was a bank that was created for the Indians in the South. Check.
Listen, I'm telling you, listen. When you look up people here, man, free blacks is when you look up free blacks, that's your peoples.
Correct.
When you see free persons, that's a slave. That's a slave. Because when you look up legal definition, all free persons had a chose or had was chosen a master. Who is the masters? That's a sovereign. See, y'all ain't listening to the legal game that's been here. This is our legal definition. This is our legal game.
And then
And
you
it
also
also,
have the
it all,
free inhabitants.
Just to add on to it, in 1785, right, during the forgotten reasons of the Civil War, all free persons, right, white slaves, was deemed what? Mulatto. Get the fuck out of here.
okay. So, are we familiar? Are anybody on the panel familiar with the Christian Black Codes of 1724?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if we actually do a study on that, it will actually show us exactly who we are as far as status on this landmass and why um these labels that society has put on us has been our detriment. Just look at us, just read it and do a research on it, and you would be like, and
You,
also the doctrine of the
I hear a
covenant.
lot of Moors reference Black Laws Dictionary 4 edition, right? Do you got the 5th edition?
The fifth edition, yeah, I got a copy of the fourth edition, the fifth edition, and the sixth edition on PDF. Yes.
Look up the definition of what a Caucasian is. It's going to contradict what the fourth said. And then not only that, when you deal with definition dealing with America, not United States of America, you got to deal with Boubier's. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
Legal
know. I
definition.
got
You
BBS
see what I'm
too. I
saying?
got BBS. I
And
study out
that's
BBS too.
even though that's the one you supposed to use in reference, that's the least likely one I hear used. You see what I'm saying? Because
I
you
try
know,
to use both. I try to use both app power
because
for real. I try to use both.
Black Laws Edition 4 is strictly for Britain established government. That was for the colonies. They stepping outside of that. We dealing with American law. We dealing with common law. So you want to get into the what the American defines these particular terms as. You see what I'm saying?
And but the the Constitution though, granted Constitution is the law of the land,
Yeah, the
not
law of the
the
land that
statute,
was.
not the
Yeah, but
statute.
it's the law of the land, but you know it's the law for operating people here. You know, because you got to understand in the preamble it tells you, this Constitution we gonna establish and it's ordained right for the posterity of our people, and we ordained this Constitution for the for this government now that's been established. So it's telling you that it's taking a constitution that already has been operated, taking
Right,
pieces of it and establishing it for somebody else. So it's laws for somebody else. You see what I'm
right,
saying? And that's
right,
what it's
right.
dealing with.
Right, but the original Constitution the Constitution only has 7 amendments.
Yeah, I'm trying to share my screen, Aboriginal Power.
Well, yeah. That's what I'm saying though. The original Constitution doesn't have any amendments though, do it? Technically, they
No,
It
no,
the
has
See
no.
that
amendments
screen?
the Constitution is a privilege. The amendments are rights that was added on later on. See, these are the things. See, it's like your body being the Constitution, right? That's your body. That's your body. But the clothes being the amendments. They come with your body for the most part, but it doesn't define who you are. So, I mean, you really got to look at it because they've been very, very discreet with the words that they was using in the 1700s.
Yo, the original Constitution can't be changed. The original Constitution is what it is.
Well, it
So
can
that
it can be, but you know what it would have to take, man. It would take
it
40.
actually
no,
have been changed.
It
The
hasn't
no,
been.
yo,
It
look,
hasn't been.
hold
It
up, hold up,
hasn't
hold up,
been. It hasn't
the
hold
been.
up,
cons-
hold up, yo. I'm
all
gonna
right,
explain to you what happened. The original Constitution can't be changed. That's an irrevocable. You can't change that. What they did was they created a new Constitution that's similar, identical to the original Constitution, and they made that a revocable trust, bro. And so that's why they came out with the Organic Act. That's why they can amend
right,
that. Because
right,
once you make a trust, you make because the Constitution is a trust. So once you make that the irrevocable, which means it can't change. That's why it became the law of the land. That cannot be changed. It can't be amended. It can't be changed. That has always been the same.
so
After the
you're talking
Civil
about
War, they created a new constitution, a
the Organic
commercial.
Act, right?
Listen,
Right.
I
Okay,
read into not too long ago how you can actually change the Constitution, and this also stated within the original forms of writing the Constitution, and what it pretty much goes into, it got to get a party of both sides. It got to get what it is it's going to propose the amendments of 2/3 of both houses of congressional can vote to amend certain things. So to change it, you will have to get 2/3 of each seat of each state of each one at the same time at the same place.
Okay, but look, the reason why, because Congress has jurisdiction over commerce. So yes, Congress being the trustees can create their own laws. That's why they can create laws. So if they have them knowing they have power over commercial acts, they can create their own contract. That's where the Organic Act came into
Okay,
play.
okay, I see what you're saying. On like by 2/3 of legislation.
Right,
That's the way they
right.
would change. Okay.
Is an article. So that's under Article 1. So Article 1 gave Congress the power to create their own jurisdiction. So that their jurisdiction was the Organic Act.
In Article
right,
So
5.
right,
you know
and
what
it
I'm
went.
saying?
I
So
hear you on
so
point.
now they can branch off and create their own system, their own jurisdiction. That's why they created the Judiciary Act. All these acts are created by Congress, but the original Constitution is still what it is, with
Exactly.
all three branches having separation of power.
No,
That's
no, no, no,
why
no.
that's
They never even touched like you said, the original Constitution, the one that they have what they call quote unquote adopted. You see what I'm saying? That would never been touched.
right, exactly. But they can make their own regulations and rules
They
under
did.
their jurisdiction.
That's
That's
what
why
they
the
called it.
separation
That's
of
what they
powers
called it.
has you gotta
Yeah,
understand separation of powers,
right.
because
They called their
Article
rules
2 and
is what
Article
they call
3 can't
amendment.
interfere with that. You see what
Right.
I'm
That's
saying?
what.
So
Right.
that's what the Constitution gave them the power to do that. But it gave us the same power. We have the
Right.
power to create our own jurisdiction.
But hold on.
That's
So
Who
all
right.
they
granted?
did was
Who? Let me ask you the
say
question. Who granted them the power though?
the Constitution granted the power, because you can't regulate contracts. You look, any contract is
Who ordained?
outside of the
Who
authority of
ordained?
the Constitution.
Who? Who ordained them to be able to use our Constitution?
He just said it. The Constitution is written in the laws of the Organic Constitution. That's why they was able to change it, and they turned it instead of a constitution for we
What
the
does the
people.
what does the
And
preamble state? What does the preamble state?
instead of it being a constitution for we the people, it became something else. It's not the Constitution to the United States of America. It's the Constitution for the United States of America Corporation. And that's what the Organic Act did. It turned
But
it
that
tell
ain't what
it
it
said
say though. That ain't what the
that's that
preamble say.
that's not what it states, but that's what they did. That's why you have this 10 by 10 District of Columbia that's using policy based upon an sanctum
That's what y'all
bulls that
agreed. That's what was agreed to ordain. That's when you were ordained for them to establish this government, right? That's what they was ordained when it said for the United States of America. And if you look up United States of America, that's DC.
okay, so look up the United States for America. The wordplay is, I'm telling you, the wordplay is tricky, man. You gotta really research it. You gotta research it heavy. I hear what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with anybody, but we have to really look into this, man. Because it's important. Because just like the brother said, it's about jurisdictional powers, and we have the right to govern ourselves in our own jurisdiction.
So I'm going to agree with you on
Yo,
the
I got a
2/3
question.
ratification, man. Like I'm agreeing with you on that, but I do want to follow up with Dennis. What is it, Glennis White? Right? That's your name. I want to follow up with you in a second.
Right
All right,
I'm right here.
I'm gonna let this guy talk though.
Because you said that Negro didn't mean Indian. Was a description of Indian, but I got proof that my granddad, my third generation granddad who served in World War I, checked off Negro and Indian citizen. He wasn't Indian.
So that is correct. So let me explain. So you do have Negroes who are black people by law, African descent, who live within Indian jurisdiction. That's not uncommon. You have black people who are members of tribal nations with no blood affiliation who are members of that tribal nation. And you also have, if you actually do your genealogy, you have hundreds. I've done mine.
I did my whole genealogy.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Let me finish. You have hundreds of ancestors on that genealogy. If you find somebody who was an Indian, that's not improbable. That's not something that's going to be, you're going to find ancestors who are not all considered necessarily black. Here's the difference. Checking off Indian nation like he did does not mean he's not a Negro by ancestry. It means that he's a member of a tribal nation. He's not within within U.S. jurisdiction. He's an Indian by being part of their particular nation. That's not uncommon. That's a lot of people. Even with the freedmen, they're part of the Indian nation. That's specific. It still does not distinguish lineage. And so when you look at policy, you have to be real specific. And that's also an exception. That's not common.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So tell me this, because my family goes deeper than just North America. My mom family is from St. Croix, and all of the Aboriginals there are copper colored. All of them. Every single last one of them. We're called the Crucian people, and they're copper colored.
So I'm going to stick with the U.S. I'll just
no. We can't stick with the U.S. We are sticking with the Americas. The Americas.
No, I'm not sticking. My lineage is U.S.
The Americas.
So I study U.S. policy. Hold on, what I would direct you to do is to look at the context and the history. I'm going to keep it right within the U.S. though, because that's where I started. And that's generally the audience. This is generally an American-born audience. I have cousins who call themselves Aboriginal. We got the same damn grandparents. So it's not something, for me, this is something very domestic. This is a domestic issue. What I want to do is I want to kind of keep the focus there so we're able to have that specific discussion about our lineage and being able to weigh it against law. Because it's a lot of
those are the same people, sir. Those are the same people.
I'm not. Who's the same people? What are you talking about?
I am telling you that the people from the Caribbeans and the people from North America are the same people.
Okay, but we're dealing with specific lineage, though.
I'm
So
dealing with
what
the
I'm saying is-
Americans.
Hold on.
I'm dealing with the
Listen,
Americans.
this is the way I want this to go. When you go in, brother Dennis, try to go in for a couple minutes so I can have the brother mute himself, so it ain't like a back and forth, because it defeats him muting himself. Because it's a bad echo. I want this to be able to get out clear to the viewers as well, you guys. So
I
let's
think
get
somebody need to shut off their YouTube. Somebody got a YouTube open.
Nah, it's the brother our historic foundation. He got some bad
I'm muted, bro. It's not me this time.
Go
I'm
ahead.
muted, bro.
Go ahead. After he's done, you can go.
All right. I'm talking about the Americas. I'm not going to separate North America from the islands. I'm including it all. I'm going to include them all because we're all the same people. Ain't no difference. When you come to the islands and you see those copper-colored brothers and sisters at their festivals wearing their feathers, they look just like the people from North America. Identical. Even in the schools, in the education over in St. Croix, they basically teaches us that we're aboriginals. They teach us that we're aboriginals. I'm not going to sit here and call my great-grandmother from the islands a liar. When we're part of the Crucian people, you got the Crucian, you got the Arawaks, and you got the Caribs. Those are the three Indian nations that populated the islands. And they also populated up in North America too. The same people. Whenever you go to Charleston, South Carolina, and you deal with the Geechee Gula people, they speak the same language that we speak over in the islands. Same language. Same language, sir. We're the same people. Same people.
All right, so I'm gonna reply to your last comment, and then I'm gonna try to bring it back to the states, because I only want to deal with jurisdiction. I only want to deal with policy. I don't want to get into a philosophical discussion whether or not we're different. Do I think we're different personally? No, but in terms of jurisdiction, different policy applies. In terms of that Gula, I would refer everybody to look at the Sierra Leone Creole. And see how many words from Sierra Leone Creole match the Gullah language, and also see why they identify with the Sierra Leone Creole people and why they're headquartered in Sierra Leone. Research that, everybody. Back to policy, though. I want everybody to tell me how by law. So I just referenced Sierra Leone Creole people. Okay? The Gullah Geechee Nation is headquartered. They have a headquarter in Sierra Leone as well. They identify.
No, bro, you can only have one headquarter.
I don't know. I think the brother Mike went out. Let's get a mic check. Mic check. Can y'all hear me out there? Peace, love, and light to everybody. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that like button as y'all come on in the building. I hope somebody's screen recording this out here.
Can you hear me?
But I don't want to go into Gullah Geechee or any of that. That's a separate discussion, right? I encourage everybody to do that on their own.
How's that a separate discussion, sir?
Because I want to discuss policy as it relates to the U.S. I don't want to drift away. I want to discuss policy as it relates to U.S. and our genealogy and the laws. That's what I want to discuss. I don't want to venture away to dialect and cultural similarities and the fact that they're headquartered in Sierra Leone. I just stated it. Confirm whether it's accurate or not. Let's move on.
But you just said that they did not use. Look, you just stated that they didn't use Negro as a description as an Indian.
So hold on, I'm moving on from that. So in terms of every 19th century definition, in the States, you will see, if you study law and if you look at a basic dictionary of the time, you will see that it applies to a person of African descent. Whether or not you want to have influence and do whatever y'all want to do, y'all spin stuff very nice and elegantly, that's fine. That is the legal definition, a person of African descent. It is not merged with Indian. Legally,
saying
it's
that's
not.
what a
The
white
terms are
person
not
does,
legally
bro.
merged together.
I'm done. That's what a
The
white
terms are
person.
not
That's what a
merged
white
together.
person.
But hold on. Let me finish. I want to answer this. I want people to tell me something very specific. What policy are you referencing that distinguishes you? That's one line, that's one ancestor, in terms of your overall ancestry, that distinguishes you from a person who was a Negro by law of African heritage. What are you doing? What policy are you referencing? No, you're not going to see the word African on a census document. You're not going to see that word. Negro means African in the U.S. and Canada, according to law.
Can I say something?
So what documents? I really want the conversation to go in that direction of what documents are we consulting to verify genealogy and verify race?
Bro, first of all, bro.
U.S. history is my document, and I mean real U.S. history.
Yo, wait a minute, bro. Because right now it's getting too convoluted. It's getting too confusing.
Yes.
Because this brother is talking about the United States, but the United States wasn't established with citizenship until the Organic Act. We were just talking about this, bro. So if you know United States law, you know this history of United States.
I'm referencing.
Wait a minute, bro.
The Constitution part. I'm referencing the Constitution. I'm referencing the decade of 1790. That's what I'm referencing.
The United States didn't exist then. Wait a minute, bro. The United States didn't exist then. What are you talking about?
I don't.
Wow.
We're talking about America, and that's what people get confused because they're going by earlier documentation when a whole new jurisdiction was established after the Organic Act. After the Civil War, everything changed, bro. Everything changed.
Okay, you have to reference policy. You have to reference. I'm going to reference policy. Okay, so I'm referring to the 1790 census. Right. I'm referring to policy. Right. That's written in the Constitution. All right. So I'm saying, how do you identify your ancestors or Indian? The Constitution clearly states by law, Indians are not within the U.S. jurisdiction. Right. It says that. The exception is there are some prayer towns. There are some people who converted to Christianity who come under your European jurisdiction. Outside of that, most Indians are not within U.S. You have to show me rather than the old man, you have to show me the specific documents. Reference the policy. So in terms of if you're referencing the census documents, which a lot of you are referencing, by the way, if you're referencing the 1790 census documents, how do you identify your ancestors are not of African heritage? What are you using to distinguish? Because the soundbite that you always hear from you guys is, I did my genealogy. So what public records are you referencing? That's a very specific question.
Well, I want you to answer my question, right? Hey, I got a question, right? So I got a question, right? Tell me this. Why aren't any of the Negroes over in St. Croix being taxed?
I'm not.
And it's owned by U.S.
I don't care about
U.S. oil. You want to know why they're not being taxed, sir? Because they're Indians. Indian not taxed. Indian not taxed. My mom is not taxed, sir.
You're welcome to.
What I'm trying to tell you is that my mom is not being taxed, sir.
I don't want to have the discussion there.
My mom is an American national, sir. Full-blooded Indian.
That's your specific story, bro. That's not our story.
But it's not a specific story, though. Have you ever left North America, sir?
You're personalizing a history discussion.
I just asked you a question. Have you ever left North America? It's a yes or no question. Have you ever left North America?
Your personal. I don't want to have it about me. I want it about the information, bro.
This is about the information.
You're drifting away. Every time you talk, you drift away from the topic. The topic I want to have is about policy. I'm serious. I like to reference law.
I just mentioned policy. Indian not tax.
Okay, that's your Constitution. Nobody else is from anybody else from that place other than him?
Can I reference some law?
Yeah, I'm listening, bro.
All right, the 13th and 14th, 15th Amendments are unconstitutional due to their ex post facto nation. No law made from them that can be valid at law. All supreme laws within the country's jurisdiction must have the power of the sovereign authority of the organic 7 articles of the Constitution of the Republic of the United States of America to back them up. So all this that you're saying, I mean, it's based upon what you know. Cause I
I'm not.
understand your wait a minute,
I don't want to go through
I
historic
understand
analysis because we're doing historic analysis.
I understand your argument. And it's a valid argument if you just want to
Question.
know.
My question though.
But
It's a question.
if it's just about simply about being boisterous and egotistical, then you're not going to get the answer you seek. Because I'm quite sure especially Glennis, Aboriginal Power, and a lot of other people can actually put into context why they can say that they're Indians or that's their right. Because according to the United States, the United Nations Declaration of Indigenous People, everybody have a right to a nationality. And I yield.
Hey, peace and love to everybody. How y'all brothers doing today?
Peace and love,
What up,
brother.
True?
What's
What
going
up,
on,
True?
bro?
What's going on? I hope I ain't bad and over talking nobody or no shit like that. Hey, but how y'all let them skate past with that Sierra Leone shit? Can I take it back there? If y'all don't
No, go
mind.
ahead.
Speak on it, bro. Speak on
You
that
talking
shit, bro.
for?
All right. I like the brother to ask the question again so I can make sure I understand him if you don't mind about the whole Sierra, the comparison and with the Creole and the Sierra Leone again.
Okay, so in terms of that, I really don't want to have a discussion about this. I did a whole entire series on the Gullah Geechee Nations, and I spoke about the specific policy and the specific headquarters. And you can also consult the Gullah Geechee Nation as well. They don't go with your version of events. I want to keep it very specific into policy in the U.S. and identifying why we identify as Indian by law, and what
Okay.
documents are you
All right.
referencing? So
All right. I can deal with.
hold on.
I
And
can
I
deal with.
and I
Hold on. Hold on, bro.
and
Hold on, bro. I'm not. Look, bro. Hold on. I will get to that with you, but that's not what I asked you. So I want to stay. I want to deal with what I asked you specifically first. Let's go at it one at a time.
we can. I would rather do that at a different time in a different space when we're referencing specific policy. I like to be very
I'm out
specific
of
when I have
town right.
discussions.
I'm out. All right. That's cool. I'm out of town right now. I just want to deal with
If
your
we
whole
could
Sierra
if we
Leone
could revisit that at a later time, that's
concept
perfect with
because
me
I.
though. And I want to direct it to
All right.
y'all. I want
Well.
to direct it seriously. I
Are
want to
you from
direct the rest of the
Charleston, sir?
conversation to y'all.
Are you from
Hey, hold
Hey,
on, hold
somebody
on.
got a
Chucktown,
Hey,
bad
South
echo.
Carolina?
it's on. You
Are you
hold
from
on, True.
Chucktown,
You
South
got it.
Carolina, sir?
Hold
I'm
on,
talking.
Glenn.
Uh,
Hold on, Glenn. I'm gonna let the brother True get his shit out.
All right, go ahead, because I'm about to go in on his ass about Chucktown, because I'm from Chucktown, bro. I'm
all right.
from.
Go
Yeah.
ahead,
I'm from there. You ain't
Somebody
gonna
had a
tell me
somebody had a
Geechee, Gula Geechee is from Africa, bro. I'm from there.
man.
I'm from there.
Hey, let me
I'm
get
from
this.
there too, bro.
Let me get this out real
Hey,
quick.
Glenn, hold on, Glenn. I'm gonna let my brother True get this out.
Yeah, because I don't know how much signal I got and shit, man. All right. We're dealing with the cultural comparison with the Sierra Leone, the whole west coast of Africa. You got to deal with when these places was established and how they was established. And that's how you will see the cultural connection. All right, Sierra Leone was the first colony established up on the motherfucking west coast of Africa by the British Empire. Who did they flood it with? You feel me? Niggas from America. So you got niggas from Canada, North America, which would be the United States, Canada, and the islands, and South America and Central America, being the ones going over there with these colonial powers, building up these settlements that eventually became countries inside of Africa. So, of course, if you got all these niggas from America going over there, immigrating with these empires and shit, and some was forced too. Let's keep it G. They took their culture with them. So that culture didn't bring its way to the Americas. That culture actually left the Americas and went over there when these colonies was established and shit. And they also tell you that shit in their own literature. And like I say, a lot of these colonies wasn't called Senegal and Ghana and all this shit back in those ancient fucking times. These are all new names. So you got to go, how was it established? What people established and what culture did these people practice? So that's how you see the cultural comparison. You feel me? And that's just being on some common sense, real shit. You feel me? Now, as far as what documentations are we using this shit to establish our identity as Indians and shit, well, when you start going by birth certificates, death certificates, and any type of record on file that the system had put in place, anytime that they interacted with your parents and shit like that, or your grandparents or your great-grandparents, when you start going back, people are finding names like Choctaw, Creek, you feel me? Various motherfucking tribe names on their, you know, on their great-grandparents, their great-great-grandparents, which would be via live certificate of birth, or even death certificates. And even in some cases, some of us was able to find our people in newspaper articles as well, and it let it be known that who they was and what these tribes was. So all this African American and black shit, all this shit is new. So if you want to take it back to those times, we not just going off the 1790 census, nigga, we going into the 1800s. So people are finding that.
So I'm going to do a quick reply. Like I said, I don't want to be on this topic, but first and foremost, most of these people that we were referencing, there was multiple laws that were trying to get free black men of color out of the U.S. They were competitive force. You don't want educated people competing for power and resources. So a lot of this was the American Colonization Society and all these other movements became sources to get rid of all these free black men of color and to deport them to the not deport them, but have them voluntarily go to the colonies of Sierra Leone and then later Liberia. If you reference policy and history, these people identified themselves as African. I always say that. If you reference history, the institution, hold on, bro. I have a whole history page and I have all documents to confirm the accuracy of those claims. Like I said, I don't want to go into it elaborately. But like I said, there's multiple, the institutions that they named themselves African. They called the institutions Africans. These were highly colonized people. So that's the whole entire, that's the Richard Islands, that's the Paul Cuffeys, all these people identified by okay. Guess what? They were the people that went to Sierra Leone, bro.
Hey, but when he went to court in London, he actually established himself as an American Indian on his mother's side.
He was that as well. Okay. He never made it. But sir, if you're referencing that, you have to also reference all the context. If they identified as African, you can't just dismiss that because it's not convenient for you. They identified as African, and those people were highly colonized. They did not bring culture to Sierra Leone.
When you get to the original documents. The original documents, not no second, third source of somebody writing about the document, but the original ones. A lot of times, those names African go back to either color or Negro, bro. Let's keep it all the way.
African is not used. It's not used in legal documents. Why does everybody keep saying it?
Right.
Documents is not used in legal documents.
What is used? Negro and color, right?
Which mean African by law.
No, you were throwing the term African on there. By the oppressors,
which mean African by law.
But how can it mean African by law if the legal paper got Negro and colored on it though?
So once again, I kind of want to shift the conversation.
Law definition of the word Negro has nothing to do with African. Look it up right now.
It always has something to do. It always does. But hold on, bro. Hold on. Let me just finish the statement. I'll let y'all have it. Okay, I can identify the specific policy I'm referencing later. Here's what I want to do. I want to shift away from historic analysis, right? I want to kind of get a more concrete understanding. Most people don't have the historic analysis as you, right? They're not going to be able to have this rebuttal on history, right? Most people are just generally consulting public documents. They are. If you don't agree with that, that's fine. But this community consults public records. They consult and they rely on public records to identify who they are. And my thing is,
we're going off the public records. We're not lying on it. We're going off what we're seeing on these public records.
So ultimately, you need to know what you're referencing. What on these documents are they referencing that would distinguish them, as an Indian by law?
And I told you, bro, it's not only the census, not just the 1790, bro. We're talking about
So
even in
what
the
documents are they
1800s.
using? What documents are they using, bro? What documents?
Once again, bro, you asked me a question, let me answer it. First off, the census is a document. So what do you mean? The census
Hold
is
on,
a
let me
document.
get in.
School, hold on.
He keep
Also
referencing
school
the
records.
1790 census
But even in
as
the
if that's the
1800s,
only only census. First of all, that's the first federal census. They had other state census and colony census that was going on all the way back to the 1600s, bro. You
big fact.
way out of that.
But we ain't even got to
Okay, so
go back that.
I did my
But
genealogy. I'm aware of that. We're keeping it
all right, but
concrete though,
bro,
bro. I want to.
but let's keep it concrete, bro. You don't even have to go back to the 1790. A lot of people is finding this shit in the late and mid 1800s. Not
And
only
what are
with
they
the
finding?
census, but other documents. You feel me?
What are they finding?
Land surveying documents and shit, and they writing down who was all in the household. You feel me? School records. Public records dealing with the newspapers and shit. So people are finding multiple sources and multiple documents outside of the census that they're finding their family members and they're labeling them as these peoples. And they have
So what
pictures.
are they? So
Hey, bro.
here's the question. I want to be real specific,
Hey,
y'all. What are
I
they
know
using to
I'm gonna sit here
distinguish?
not to give a fuck, bro.
hey.
I think I'm being
You keep
specific with you,
muting
fam.
and we can't hear what he's saying.
So here's my thing. I keep saying it's ultimately about distinguishing, right? There's obviously an Indian population, right? By federal law, they established what an Indian population is. We have 700,000 people who are considered people of color, who are not excluded. They're within European jurisdiction. 700,000 people. We have the specific documents that reference people who would be Indian. They're identified as Indians, not very many of them. It's a couple people who are identified as white men, but for the most part, it's 700,000 people. What are these people? And the next document, the next 10 years, you can follow up. What is this population?
Brother,
That population turns to 1 point. Hold on. In terms of increments, that population becomes 1.1 million very soon after the next 10 years. It becomes about 2 million the year after that. So it's a specific population that falls within American jurisdiction. And Indian, hold on. Let me finish my thought, bro. I'm gonna let you rock. After 1810, after 1850, that's when you first start to incorporate Indians on the federal census. Before that, they were operating on their own independent census. So you had this large population of up to 3 million people. Who are these 3 million people?
All right, bro.
And how do they distinguish them, which most black people fall under?
Can I talk? Because you saying a lot, bro. You saying a whole lot, bro. So
because nobody's answering the question.
I mean, I'm answering you, just not liking the answers. But you can mute your mic so we ain't got this echo. I answer your question with as far as the population numbers and shit dealing with Indians and these 700,000. First off, bro, think about what you just said. The 10 year strain, right? At one point in time, you got 12.5 million Indian slaves that they say on their records, which I know these are the records that you're using, right?
What year? What year though? What year?
God damn, my nigga.
State the year.
Bro, you stated a lot and couldn't nobody even fucking get in, bro. Won't you mute your mic, man? Niggas letting you talk, man. Now let me talk. I got a lot of shit to answer that you just went by, man, because you long-winded as fuck. Now, on some G shit, you brought up about the population. First off, on their records, they say only 300 and some thousand actually touched the mainlands of the United States. But over a period of time of these people touching down, and they didn't all come at one time. They came at separate times and shit based on their records, which is bullshit. But you had 12.5 million Indian slaves, so they say. And you had 300 and some thousand Africans and shit. Over a course of like 10, 20 years, Here it is. The winning went down to hundreds of thousands of Indians and not 12.5 millions of slaves, bro. All we trying to tell you, bro, is the paper genocide, bro. We're going by the paper. We're not going off the first fucking paper, nigga. We going paper by paper by paper. Finding these records. A lot of people got these records in their family already. So it's like, you know what, man? I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been smoking this wood. Listen to you. I mean, bro, you got an agenda, man. That's cool. You believe what you believe, bro.
You got an agenda.
You really need to,
bro. You got an agenda, bro.
I don't have no agenda, bro. I'm just not finna let nobody tell me who I ain't. I don't have to go back that far, bro. It's on my grandmother's birth certificate. Her mother was a full-blooded Indian, so I don't have to go back that far.
We're referencing policy, and you're emotional, right? So here's my deal, bro. Here's my thing. No, here's my deal. If you said 12 million, if you're referencing, hold on, bro. If we're referencing 12 million, I want you to state the date, right? Like if I give you, listen, hold on, bro, hold on. If I state a specific population, I'm going to state the date because it's important because you need to be able to track the population over time.
You didn't state
that's important.
No date in them numbers, though. You didn't state no date in them numbers. You didn't state no date.
If you ask me for it, 1790, you have 700,000. In 1800, you have about 1.1 million that will fall under the category of free people of color, not Indian, and under European jurisdiction. So yes, I have the numbers right here in front of me, bro. And what I'm asking you to do is you said 12 million.
You gotta also understand the 1790 census wouldn't even reference no Indians on that, nigga, so they wouldn't even count everybody.
Yes, there was reference. Yes, there was reference, bro. Yes, there was.
No.
Yes, there was. They're labeled
the 1790 excluded Indians, bro.
So, with the exception of prayer towns, there were certain exceptions. The woman that was on the panel last time spoke about this. I agree with her.
So, who is these towns?
So, once again, there was an exception. There was an exceptional population that was under European jurisdiction. There were mostly people on the coast who converted to Christianity who were not considered a threat by war. Most of the early census document was done to gauge military readiness of the white population. If the ones who converted to Christianity were not considered a threat to their military, that was the main reason. So if you look at the first census document, you can see they're clearly focused on white males. They want to find out the white males who are ready and able for war. That was the main purpose. Everybody else is in one category. It was primarily focused to find out who their military readiness against Great Britain. That was the main reason. Indians who were converted to Christianity were not considered a threat, and they were identified, and there wasn't many of them. So yes, they were on that document, and yes, that population grew over time. That population, hold on, let me follow up, bro. That population becomes 4.4 million by 1860. 4.4 million by 1860. That population becomes 8.6 million by 1880. Are you following the trend? That population eventually becomes like 15 million by the early 20th century. Okay. So there is a population that's identified.
Let me say this, yo, because y'all been talking for a minute, man. Look, this is the whole point about what I'm trying to point out to people. All that shit doesn't make a fucking difference. After 1871, the entire country changed. All those documents and everything that you're stating is nothing but a lie. And we have proof that it's a lie because we can show you census records. I can show you census records of my family where designations have been changed. They doctored.
You've been lying the whole time.
Yo, look, hold up, bro. They doctored these documents. They doctored the fucking census, changed the designation from white. They changed it from Indian to black to Negro on this documentation. So all that shit is disqualified. That's number one.
Cite the sources.
Second, bro, you can go on any census record and see where they changed the fucking the designation. You could do that. That's
nobody was Negro on the census, bro. Nobody was Negro. You saying false things?
No, bro. They was changing the documentation. That's clear. That's been proven. That's proof. We have proof of it. Everybody on this line has proof of their family being changed. That their designation has been changed. So we know that these motherfuckers are up to no good. So how can you take their designation and their jurisdiction and their books and use that shit for anything that's qualified for what you're saying? Everything you're saying is a lie.
You can. So,
bro,
this is what you can do. Here's what everybody can do.
All
You can personalize. Hold on, bro. Hold on. You can personalize. You made a claim, bro. So I'll follow up. You made a claim.
So right now, you have no proof of no boats coming over here. No bill of lading. You have no docket sheets showing where people came from Africa. There's no boats. There's no manifesto at all. Of
so
all,
you're doing a rant. You're doing a rant. I only reference policy. Bro.
The policy.
You're all emotional. Why are you so emotional about this? Y'all really hate being African, don't you?
Policy has nothing to do with us. What don't you get through your head? Bro, let me explain something.
You're emotional as hell.
Bro, policy has nothing to do with us. That's foreign.
Hold on.
That's foreign to this land.
He's not trying to let y'all speak, so I'm gonna just put him right here. I'll let him back
hold
in
on,
when
put
y'all
him on
ready.
mute, yo, because I gotta make it clear. I gotta make it clear to him. Policy, regulations.
I'll bring him back in because he don't listen. So
Bro, look, this is what I'm trying to explain to you. Policy, regulation, codes doesn't have anything to do with us. It has nothing to do with us. We could give a fuck about that. Only thing we're concerned about is what nation we came from, what laws and bylaws and constitutions we are associated with. Their foreign laws and codes and policies, United States shit, has nothing to do with us. Period. So when he states we going by code and power, you're going by foreign rules. That has nothing to do with us.
Halito, everyone.
Hey,
Halito, sis.
What's up, original Empress? What's up?
Y'all, you keep reference to Africa. So what do Africans look like? Because I'm thinking here, he's thinking that Africans are these dark skinned or brown skinned people. This is what he keep reference to. So what do what do Africans look like, sir?
Nigga, you can
I see you on the panel. You don't want to answer?
I'm still trying to figure out why he find it hard to believe that these people would do that shit.
It's a bad echo, y'all.
It might be me. Hold on.
Yeah, somebody got a YouTube open.
Sir, I see you still on the panel. I was asking, what do Africans look like? Because I'm getting this.
You still got an echo? You still got an echo?
No, when you muted it, stop.
All right, hold on. Let me fix that because I shouldn't have to do that. I think my echo thing is up. Keep talking. I'll fix it. Keep going.
Okay. Yes. You know, these people are tying our skin complexion to a continent. This is what we get when we deal with these people. He keeps referencing Sierra Leone, Liberia. Those are our people that was taken out of America. And there are immigrants with an E, not with an I. You can go look this up. That means that they was taken from their own land to a foreign land. This is in the document of the colonization society. So I want you to answer me, sir. What do Africans look like?
Hey, we're waiting for the answer.
I'm still trying to figure out why you find it hard to believe that they'll do some shit like this.
Hey, yo, but look, I got another question for him. Because he's now putting on this act as if he's a descendant of slaves. So if he's a descendant of slaves, how are you free now? That's what I want to know. Are you still a slave?
You're forever a slave.
So can I reply? Can I reply? All right. In terms of you, so you still a slave, bro. Hold on. Everybody's too emotional. All right, we're gonna do. I want to deal with policy. I want to deal with specifics. You're way too emotional for me. Hold on. I want to deal with facts then. Okay, facts and evidence. So hold on. Hold on, she asked me a specific question. So you have different time periods, right? So it's an evolution over time. So the earliest references are to it's a Roman province. So it's a relationship term, right? Because you don't have the continental land masses named yet. They're not named till you develop an understanding, a cartographic understanding of the continents. That doesn't come around until about the 14th, 15th century. So hold on, miss. Hold on.
What do Africans look like?
Miss, hold on.
I'm asking you specifics. What do Africans
and I'm going to give you specifics. Like? Everybody just scale down a little bit. Listen, so hold on. So 15th century, you have a cartographic understanding of the continental landmass, right? That becomes, you can consult the Library of Congress and look at the 16th century map of Africa, a 17th century map of Africa. That term begins to be used in terms of sub-Saharan Africa in the 17th century, right? In the 17th century, that term is used infrequently. In the 18th century, it's used commonly, more commonly in the 18th century than it is now. Hold on. So when we refer to African, we're generally referring to sub-Saharan Africans, people of the Niger, Congo race.
Or is that what you're trying to?
So that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. I can explain that as well. In terms of melanin, there is a melanin belt, right? This is the earliest people on the planet. Hold on, if you hear me out, I might make some sense. There's a melanin belt, right? So can y'all mute yourself though? Can y'all mute yourself? So from Senegal all the way to the western portion of Oceania, you have the darkest people on the planet concentrated within the equator. So that's when you're looking at all your dark Aboriginal.
Can I ask you something?
Hear me out. You asked me a question.
Bro, I'm gonna
give you another question. Hold on. So you have the darkest skinned people around the Indian.
I wanted to know where
hold on.
Equator.
Tone down your miss. Let me reply. So all of Africa south of the.
Bro, please don't let him do it to himself, yo. He's about to embarrass himself, man.
This shit crazy.
Okay, but
bro, you about to embarrass yourself.
Black people are that whole dark belt, the earliest people on the planet who lived concentrated within the equator from the Western Pacific all the way to Senegal. That's where the darkest people on the planet live. So that's what we're referring to. We're referring to black or melanin. The people that we are directly descended to are the people of the coastal West Africa.
Can you tell me what
and I know the pseudo fest is about to begin, and nobody's gonna have a source. Everybody's all emotional. But like I said, it's very specific. The earliest people are concentrated within the Indian Ocean.
What is the equator?
What is the equator? Oh, she's asking stupid questions. You can get an answer to that.
That's not a stupid question, man.
That's a stupid question. What is the equator, sir?
The equator is a parallel hemisphere.
What is the equator, sir?
It's a parallel latitude that goes around the middle of the planet.
You don't want to say. You know what?
So here's my thing. Here's my problem.
It is an imaginary line, sir.
Okay, so but
in your mind.
Here's the pseudo fest. Here's the pseudo fest is about to get done. Because listen, anybody here?
You're done. Back.
So hold on. Listen to this. More than anybody on this panel, I can tell you the specific phenotype of everybody on this panel.
With a certain skin tone, something is very.
So more than anybody on this planet, and this is the challenge, because you can go to my page and consult it. I can tell you about the phenotype of everybody on this planet and related to
dramatic science and
I can tell you based on your hair texture, based on your skull shape, I can go in. But I don't want to discuss that. I asked y'all about policy in your genealogy and nobody can reply. Nobody can reply though.
I know who the fuck I am.
Nobody can reply. everything but a direct reply to a genealogy answer. Because none of y'all have answers. None of y'all have answers. That's the problem.
Are you sitting here telling me that my great grandma and them don't know who the fuck they was?
Talk about it.
Because
Talk
my
about it.
bloodline is not your bloodline. So quit
Talk about
adding everybody on that boat with
Don't
your
scream. Talk about it. Talk about it with policy. I want to hear.
policy.
You're all emotional. Talk about it with policy.
You sitting here quoting United States corporation bullshit on this damn platform.
What are you referencing? What are you referencing, miss?
What are you referencing? Because where are the boats, sir?
So look on my page. Our historic records. They're on the coast of the Atlantic. They're on the south. They're on the south of Africa. You're screaming, and you can't talk about your genealogy.
That they was using to make boats.
You are just emotional people who can't explain yourself. That's what this is about.
You're emotional,
I asked a very
because
specific
you
question
believe
about
in the motherfucking theory that the outer African theory, and you believe in a slave ship. You're emotional.
I don't deal in belief. I deal in evidence. I don't deal in belief. I deal in evidence, y'all.
People where they at today because
You can't explain. You're screaming. You're screaming. You're emotional and screaming. You have no substance.
You trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm just emotional. This is called passionate, brother. But you're up here sounding like a whole fool if you thought that people was just that weak with a one-shot shotgun, brought millions of people across the worst ocean on the damn planet. So you talking
400-year period, miss. I have the documentation.
Really, sir? I'm emotional, sir? They sound like you're emotional. It sound like
so I'm going to deal with policy. Nobody wants to deal with policy.
The 70s. Because
this is a land. This is a land. A country land.
The story only existed since the 1970s, sir. But I'm emotional. You literally put your
don't even know what policy is.
In feces and shit, and was laying on their side. I work in the medical field.
Be able to identify how your ancestors are Indian by policy, by law. Nobody can do that. Nobody can do that. Isn't that kind of ironic? None of y'all can do that.
They would have survived laying on their side.
All you got is emotion from me now.
Without developing the Cuban sword.
And you have an Angolan phenotype, I bet you do.
Oh
you probably Angolan as well. And you're emotional about it. And the whole problem is none of you can explain the policy how you're not average.
That the Germans and all of them have put out here for us to research.
All of them, right? This is all of them, right? That's what you're referencing. All of them.
So which one of your great superhero ancestors jumped off the boat and started building up America after he laid in piss and feces? Because you do have to have them by name, nigga. Which one of your great ancestors jumped off the boat for laying on their side in months, piss and feces, without moving their limbs? So
your ancestors did too, miss. Your ancestors did too.
In order for blood to circulate through your body, you must be moving. You cannot lay, because if you lay in one side, that means all your organs start to shut down after a certain amount of time, and that means they start to die out. So which one of them
you are a victim of pseudo information, and you're emotional about it.
I'm just saying.
Reference policy, miss. Reference policy. Reference policy.
All right,
you're emotional. You're screaming for nothing.
Hold up, bro. Let somebody speak real quick. You want somebody to reference policy? Now, in this book right here, Black Law 4, right? Let's look at what policy say for you. You know what I'm saying? Now, the policy principles of which government is guided in its measurement of public affairs or legislator in its measurements, right? This term as applied to law, ordinance, or rule of law denotes the public purpose and tendencies considered as direct to the welfare or prosperity of state or community. Now, you want to know what policy what that's stating? That states this. That policy is for public consumption. Public policy. Now let's go to public policy.
And listen, he keep using policy as synonymous with law when it's actually a total difference than law or rule.
All right, but look, this is what public policy says, right, in the Black's Law. That principle of law which holds no subject can lawfully do that which has a tendency or to be injurious to the public or against public good. The principles under which the freedom of contract or private dealing is restricted by law for goods of the community.
All right, so here's what I mean in terms of policy, y'all. Hold on. So 17.
Hold up.
I'm gonna give you dates specifically already. Okay.
No, let me explain to you what that means though, because you don't know what it means. You don't know. You know what you don't
I don't want to hear your philosophical
means.
spin for 10 minutes, but go ahead.
Okay, this is what policy means. Policy is the laws or the ordinances or the regulations that's created by Congress, which is their jurisdiction under commercial affairs. So therefore, if you have anything that's dealing with commerce and commercial activities, that is regulated under Congress when you're using their policy. If we refuse to use their policy and their laws and not subject to their rules, then we're outside of their jurisdiction. So policy, my friend, has nothing to do with us.
You're under European jurisdiction. All of you are. You're just delusional. Hold on.
Yo, how we
you apply to all of you are. You are. You're just delusional. So hold on. Let me respond. So, who's that? Who's the echo in the back?
Hold on. Did you just say that we're under European jurisdiction?
I think you're delusional, absolutely. But meanwhile, hold on. Let me finish my statement. I want you to consult the legal documents and describe in detail the legal documents that you're referencing that distinguish you as Indian, and then give us the understanding. And if somebody changed it, identify the person who changed it. Who's that? Identify the person who changed the law by name, the date the law was changed, all those specifics. What's that? Whoever's doing that, can they cut their mic off?
But we don't see your inbox and dish box.
Also, because now I gotta can somebody read that? Who's doing it? All right, but can you cut your mic off now?
That's AP.
Oh, it's me. My bad.
All right, so no, I was saying in terms. Here's the whole point of the discussion. My hope was that everybody in here could give a pretty clear analysis of their genealogy and describe the specific laws and how they are Indian by law. If there's a specific policy, reference the specific policy. Like I said, when I reference the census documents, most Black folks are going to fall directly under free people of color for the first 50 years of the census documents. That's just it. If you consult those documents, you're going to be under that free people of color. The population grows over time. That population directly connects to the population that exists now.
Okay.
It's very comprehensive. It's easy to follow.
Listen, bro. You keep asking for an act, bro. So I'm going to just give you one little simple act, bro. The Organization Act, brother. The Energy Organization Act. That's just a simple act. That's one. Okay? Okay? What do you want to tell you what it says? It classifies and deems all departments of racial groups into one: a Negro, Puerto Rican, American Indian, and it states a few other ones that goes into it. Look it up.
Have a year for that law?
During the time of racial integrity, I believe it's 1924.
And in terms of that, just to give a little feedback on that, that is another soundbite that's just being totally misinterpreted. The Racial Integrity Act is a very specific policy in Virginia that only affected about 58,000 people. It only affected the 1924 Act. Consultant policy. Hold on, let me finish. If you're going to state it's not true, state what's not true about what I just did, okay? And reference the policy. So, instead of saying it's not true, right? Because y'all have your talking points, and this is one of your talking points. The Walter Plucker. And what y'all do is, hold on, miss, hold on. We let you rant. Hold on. So in terms of Walter Plucker, you can't just say his. You can't just say his name, and then let emotions come out. You have to reference the specific policy. And most of you are referencing the Racial Integrity Act And if you're looking at policy, 23% of the population of Virginia was Negro at the time. It didn't affect but 2% of the population. So you can't reference that and say all these people were reclassified. You have to look at the census documents and see who was reclassified. It didn't affect a large number of people.
Majority of the
It
people
affected people. Hold on, miss, hold on. Turn your motion. You're referencing policy. You're countering with a specific policy, right? If you're countering what I'm saying, you're using policy to say why it's not accurate. Not just your emotions to project what you want.
You ain't getting no reparations, Negro, because you ain't.
So it doesn't matter. We're talking about Walter Plecker, 1924, racial integrity.
About our bloodline, you ain't getting
23% of the population.
Hold on, bro. Shut up. We know what you need to do, bro. You gotta let us speak. And that echo be fucking us up. We can't even get our shit out. Bro, we already stated the Energy Organization Act. You ain't got no comeback for that. Then you brought up Walter Plecker as if that doesn't coincide with it. And when you deal with Walter Plecker, we're going to deal with it, right? Because you got to deal with the documents that changed everything, which is federal documents. It's called the Selective Service Bureau of Investigation. So
there's multiple organic laws too, by the way. There's multiple.
The Selective Service Bureau is what changed these documents from changing Indians into Negro, mute yourself, into Negro. And then in 1927, a lot of the southern states had adopted that Walter Plecker's Act and started initiating these same policies and acts into their own state ordinances. Brothers,
reference the policy.
Drop the link for Sister Debbie, because she got some proof out of Congress. He ain't talking about shit.
Hey, but at the same time, he, in a way, in certain ways, the man, he might be correct. If you allow them to assume that you're foreign or you're African, then you fall under that and you don't clarify. Yes, they cannot do that. They have the authority to do so. But when you clarify who you are, that's on the record. So you can't assume that everybody came from off a slave boat. That hasn't been proven, because you can't. I don't assume, bro. Yes, you are. You're assuming. You're assuming from people that you don't even know. You don't know everybody. You don't know everybody that was here. You don't know everybody's situation. You're assuming that everybody who has dark skin is from Africa, and you're wrong.
I'm asking for policy. I'm asking. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm asking. So everybody has a specific story. I'm asking.
Policy, it only applies to acquiescence. When you go to buy policy, that's you being silent, and you're and a person not individually clarifying who they are and where they're from. So if they put a blanket statement on paper and say that everybody who doesn't clarify who they are, they're considered to be African. That's what they're doing. That's basically what they're doing. Everybody who's ignorant to the law is African.
If you have a specific designation with a definition, it is what it is.
Every person doesn't have a specific designation, and you know this. Stop playing games. You're playing games right now.
What are you referencing? What are you referencing?
Where they was from and what boat they came off of. So stop assuming things. You're assuming things and you're saying you're not when you are. Policy is policy foundation is off assumption.
Yeah, real quick though. Just dealing with the Black Law Dictionary. Indian in the Black Law Dictionary says the original inhabitants of North America. So if you are the original inhabitants of North America, why would a foreign policy apply to you if you're an Aboriginal?
Facts.
How did you conclude that you are original if you are labeled Negro by law? If you are labeled colored by law? So you have to show the specific policy. So what I'm saying is most people in this room, hold on. Okay, but you also have to specify who changed it and when they changed it and all those specifics as well. You can't just say somebody changed it because you don't like what you see. I think all of y'all are too. Because nobody can specify the policy. Nobody, because you're emotional, you can't cite policy.
Where is your Bismarck inbox that you came here by a slave ship?
So what I'm saying is you have to be able to reference policy. And in terms of everybody exports,
look like shit.
okay, thanks a lot, miss. But in terms of policy, is that better? In terms of policy, you have to be able to reference a specific time on that genealogy and consult and be able to distinguish yourself as an Indian by law.
I got
That's
that
all
for
I'm
you,
saying.
sir. I have that information for you, sir. Policy and all. Would
Go
you
ahead,
like to
Sister
see it,
Becky. Let
sir?
him have it.
Would you like to see it, sir? Policy
Go ahead.
and
I'm waiting
all.
for you.
Okay. At Power, may I please share the link? But before you share, wait a minute, at Power, let me show them from the beginning. Okay? Because I don't have this online. Okay. Here's my birth certificate. You see that, right? You see that, brother?
I see you clear.
Okay. Now, I could show you mine. That's my mama's birth certificate because I got to show lineage proof. That's my nana's birth and death certificate. That's my great grandma's death certificate because they didn't make birth certificates when she was born.
Facts. Go ahead.
And here is my great nana's death certificate. Okay. Her name is Margaret. She was buried on the Catawba Reservation, and she's Catawba. There you go. See that in the corner? But I ain't finished with you yet, boo-boo. Hold up, boo-boo, because I want to show you.
Just to interject, how many lines have you studied? No, good. Because guess what? Indian on your.
Hey, you gotta let me finish, bro, and then you can respond. All right, let's be fair.
Hey,
She is
don't unmute yourself
identified.
till she's finished, brother. Don't
There's
unmute.
her death certificate right there, under Catawba, York, South Carolina, signed by the chief of the tribe, who was the informant. Okay, now that's my nana, buried in the Indian reservation. I showed you my lineage from me to her. Now wait, I ain't finished. Now I would like the you spoke earlier about the 1790 census and all that shit, right? So now let's talk about that. The Indians had to do their own census and report it to the government so that they can get their per capita monies. So now I'm going to show you the report with my nana on the list. Wait a minute, with my nana on the list, Margaret on the list on the reservation, because these are the people who get the per capita checks. So may I please have a share screen, beautiful brother Aboriginal Power?
I'm waiting on you to screen share.
Oh, I thought you already had it. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's talk about this for a minute. These are the reports that the Indian tribes had to send to the federal Department of Interior federal government. So we know all about Catawba, blah, 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 blah. We don't even have to read about it. You want to read about it, I'll give it to you later. The Indian tribes of North America, okay? It just speaks about it. Catawba tribe, significant unknown through the name of probably native to the tribe, also called Antigua, Cherokee name, all that, blah, 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 blah. But that's not what we want. We want the actual report that they have to send to the federal government to account for the people on the reservations. So, bula, here we go, baby. Here's the report from the top so I could show you. The information was sent to me by Catawba Native American Indians, okay? And this was in 1998. All right, baby? Columbia, South Carolina, Catawba Indians will be remembered monument who fought for the Confederacy, dedicated at Fort Mill. 50 Indians from reservation present, speech by Ben Harris. Now, here we go. Here is the list of the people, my friend. Boom. Here is a list of the Catawba Indians living in the reservation near here at present time. Boo-boo, there's my grandma right there, Margaret Brown. Okay? So is that enough policy? Is that enough policy for you, bro?
Absolutely. And actually what you did was,
now, I'm not finished, boo-boo. I'm not finished.
Okay, you confirm my point, though.
It's fact. Now, what I want you brothers to stop doing is teaching to our people that they are African. You're doing an injustice to our people. All of our people are on this. Okay? We gave the United States permission to operate on our land. And I'm going to speak about this in a couple of hours on my platform later. I don't want to take up Ab's Powers channel. But we are the Indians of this landmass. All they did was took the light one, the light-skinned one, half white, half black, and said, you the Indians, keep the dark ones silent. I'm considered a Negro. The dark ones had to stay silent. But to sleep with me gives you indigenous status to this land. So if a European and a white has a baby, they classify him as Indian. Now let me show you that one more time. Ab Power. Your people are doing an injustice to our people. Now, here we go. Right here. Below, and this is in the Library of Congress. That being said, the only way you can claim indigenous status to North American landmass is if your blood lineage is with that of Negro. Therefore, the Negro is the full-blooded Aboriginal Indian of North American landmass. Below,
what document are you referencing?
I'm going to show you. You got to shut up, bro. I know the truth hurts. Below,
nothing hurts me, baby.
Okay, below, you will be introduced to a series of photos taken from the United States government National Archives of mixed breed Indians, Negro and white, near Pembroke Farms, North Carolina and South Carolina. Mr. Frank Barnett and his son, a Negro farmer near Skolshaws, who is part Cherokee Indian, Negro and white. Now, how do you become a Cherokee Indian? Mixed breed, you got to be Negro and white. All right. Now, here's their picture. Negro and white. You see these? And down here too. Now, let's click the link so we can get to those same photos that says the same thing so you can't say I did it. It's taking me to the National Archives. Library.
Just to interject, what specific source are you referencing right now? Like I see the page.
I'm clicking the link. Library of Congress, sir.
It's on the Library of Congress. What is the specific document you're referencing, though?
These pictures on the Library of Congress. It's going to say the exact same thing I said.
It's a document in the library. It's a library. What document are you referencing,
sir? It's telling you exactly what I said. I copied it from here. Okay. What does this say? This is the Library of Congress, correct, sir? The same
yes,
document.
But it's document. It's
right?
a document.
Look, nigga,
it's not just the Library of Congress.
Mixed breed Indian family, white and Negro, looking at location for farmhouse near Pembroke Farms, North Carolina. These are the same pictures I just showed you. Remember? Him and his son.
I'm asking because I follow up and I cover it.
Okay,
Afro-Indigenous stories.
Hold on. Library of Congress. Okay, is this not enough for you, sir?
Absolutely, it's not enough because we need to know the specific document this is.
You need to do some research. Do some research. Stop being lazy.
Possibly related to mixed breed Indian, white and Negro.
It has a name though.
What?
The document has a name. It has a name. A specific name.
Hold on, we researchers over here, bro. You gotta do some work.
You know what? I'm fucking done with this dude. But you know what? I'm glad the audience is seeing this.
Just because I'm asking for the specific document, you're done because I'm asking for the specific document from the Library of Congress?
I typed the document and put the pictures in there. And put the
link. That doesn't make it accurate.
To where I got the documents from. Here it is. Library of Congress. Okay? Mixed breed Indian, white and Negro. I didn't write that. I did not write that. Now I'm looking for the man and his son.
Library of Congress has sources, miss. That's what I'm asking for. I'm asking for the source of this.
A source.
Are you really serious? Are you just
where's your source at, man? You keep talking about sources. Where's your source?
The emotional source.
Where's your source, bro?
the specific document so I can reference the document.
That's a damn source, man. The Library of Congress.
I'm giving
That's
it
not,
to you.
That is a source.
That is not a specific document.
It's a
That's not a
source.
specific document.
This is the source. I copied the link.
Damn.
And put it in my paper.
Don't worry, because when they start shipping these foreigners on out of here, they think they fucking African.
Oh,
I'm
shut
gonna make sure
up.
they got your ass on that motherfucking you ain't your loved ones.
All right,
Country
I'm done.
fool. I'm asking her for specific documents.
I done went through my whole fucking family history from me
You want
to the
some one line, and you can't show me the source of the document. Go Library of Congress.
I went from me to my dead grandmother on the reservation, then went
That's
and
not a
pulled
lie.
up the census sheet that they hand in to the federal government. So
one line. You show one line.
You call her a liar. You're calling her a liar, sir.
You're emotional. I said that's one line. One
Are
line.
you calling her a liar? And I'm not emotional. I'm asking you a question.
The source that I just gave you for everything came off of the Library of Congress. Now,
but it's under a certain designation, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Link. Look, let me put the goddamn link in the chat for you because I don't think you're getting it.
That will be.
I want to see your sources. I want to see your sources.
What I do is I collect sources.
Yo, you're fucking done, dude.
Get that dude off of here, man.
Hold on.
I'm gonna give him the link.
Right quick. Let me say something.
Can y'all hear me?
Can y'all hear me?
I don't know what else this dude wants.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, bro.
Yeah, we hear you, Aboriginal Power.
Yo, Ab Power, thank you for having me on. I'm going on my channel later live to explain all this, but
you killed him, man. You killed him. He's in denial.
This guy is a complete idiot. He wants everybody to don't exhaust yourself showing sources when he haven't showed a damn thing and he fakes like his laptop don't work. So, like I said, man, this was a good. I gave the brother enough time to come on and entertain himself. I'm gonna let y'all say a few things before we get out of here, but we about to close this thing. I gotta take care of it.
Thanks for having me, Ab Power. I'll be on later on to do my little thing, but thank you for having me. I love y'all. Empress, thank you for that. Glennis and Spell JK, y'all both getting spanked.
I didn't know your family last name was Brown too, Betty.
Yeah, we probably can. Yeah, South Carolina.
I think someone was in South Carolina.
Yeah,
Browns. Yeah,
that's correct. Up in the King Hoy area.
Abville, me and Omega Red from the same area, Abville, South Carolina.
I got Browns in my family too.
All Indian.
It's a video I'm gonna share on to family, a big large family in California, y'all. Getting their land back in California, and they have a resort. It was a resort before they took the land, and of course, it's still one. But for over 100 years, they had these people land, and it's a big write up. It's on the news. It was on the news yesterday. They're getting their land back. So for you motherfuckers that don't believe in land patents, I'm gonna share the motherfucking video. It was all over the news and everything. These people been having their land for over 100 years, and they getting their motherfucking land back. And
I agree.
What makes it so bad? These people talking about can they still use the land and pay them, but it's like they written the land from the family. Hell no, put them motherfuckers up off your shit. So while motherfuckers still making motherfucking videos that we got them out here scamming folks for a fucking land patent that's on somebody else's tree, nigga, read it and it's all over the fucking internet.
With a land patent, you can't scam nobody with a land patent.
Land patents are real, man.
Those are real.
Yeah, people talking about their families, the only one that really, the original families with land patent, that's a lie. There's a lot of our people had land. A lot of our people fought in wars. Quit lying to the people.
That's right.
Hey, Ab, what did that dude do? Drop off or you kicked him off? What happened? He fell off?
He left after hurt his feelings.
Oh, he left? Well, y'all just be very careful because somebody like him is trying to pull information out so that they can go to the higher people and try to defeat or change something to fuck your life up. So be very careful about what you tell these fools. But see, I already printed all my shit offline, so they can't change it.
I'm blocked from going live for 7 days because somebody said I guess something racial or something. Who knows? Because we talk about that Cucaracha shot and shit. So I guess we done made some people mad. So they blocked me for 7 days. But then I would have posted a video. But what I do is when I come over to you, when you go live, I put it in your chat so you can show the people.
Yeah, come up on the panel. Come, I'll be waiting for you. Come on over.
Okay, I send it to you, and so people can see for themselves that people literally getting back their land. Now, why would you give some slaves the land? They slaves.
Yeah.
Slaves don't own shit.
Slaves don't own nothing.
Up, man. It's just people like him that want to keep this shit going because they think that the United States is going to give them something.
Yes, exactly. Then you got motherfuckers like what's that motherfucker real rap running around here lying and making videos and shit.
Oh my
talking
God.
about people scamming and talking about people trying to scam folks out of their land and lying to them about land pay. Nigga, go suck your own dick. That's what you do.
And that's a damn shame because I did his genealogy.
His mouth.
But how can you scam that though?
You can't.
How can you scam a land patent? How can you scam a land patent?
Why would it even be on your family's tree?
Correct. Exactly.
These niggas. They go live and make videos about the matriarch, talking about we misleading the people. How are we misleading something that's on somebody else's fucking tree and we telling you to look into it? That was your people's fucking land.
I'm so disappointed that he can say something like that because he can. Matter of fact, I was on Ad Power's channel, I think, or Chief Holiday. I did his whole genealogy for him. I took him back to like the 17 or 1800s.
It is crazy. Then we have people in back checks calling us whores and bombs, talking about we are deceiving the people and that we ain't nothing but whores and bombs and shit. I'm sick of this. I'm so sick of the internet, y'all. I don't know what to do.
Oh,
I actually went back and found some land patents in my genealogy. I went back in there and found a couple land patents. So land patents are real.
That's what's up.
Hey, but
thanks,
hey, man,
Power.
hey, I appreciate everybody for coming through, man. Hey, Sister Betty, you rocked out. I'm proud of you. Yeah, I remember from back in the day. You're doing good, Sister Betty. Keep up the good work.
Hey, what did that do? What did he do? Leave? He left?
Grab these two little rascals when you leave, too. Make sure you grab by both of their ears, too, when you leave.
What did he do? Did he leave? Did he leave?
Yeah,
or you kicked him off?
Well, I kicked them off. I'm about to go, so I got that.
Okay.
Yeah. I appreciate that, brother, for coming through. No ill will or nothing, but no peace, no ill will to nobody. But he's delusional. Yeah, he's quite creepy. But I appreciate it.
The Library of Congress is not a source. Something's wrong.
I'm like, what is wrong with you? I tried to give him the link, and he was like, "I'll be on later, y'all. See y'all. Thanks, Ad Power."
All right,
see y'all later.
I appreciate it,
everybody.
All right, y'all.
Power.
All right, peace and love.
All right, peace.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace, Spiritual K, Brother Glennis.
No problem,
peace
man.
to everybody, man. Peace, love, and light to all the American Aborigines out there, man. Hope everybody enjoyed this bill, man. Hope they got something from it that they could take from it, man. I hope y'all enjoy yourself throughout your daily journey, man. Enjoy y'all Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy yourself. Let's get it. Peace.